Hey. I hope that you guys could find me. I don't know, but I hope that you could. But I give you some time to come on in. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Don't forget to hit that likety like on your way in. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you want to stay part of the family, there are different levels to this channel. Some topics may not be for you, some may be for you. So always come on in on a topic that is for you. So we can ready to start this right now. We are gonna start this party. Mm-hmm. Don't forget, if you're watching a replay, you can skip past all this little bit of stuff and go straight to the topic. Okay, we shall start this video like right now.
accountability as an obligation or a willingness to accept actions. So, understanding of the word accountability. Webster's dictionary defines accountability as an
Hey,
obligation or a
sugar.
willingness to accept
Boom,
responsibility
boom, boom,
for
baby.
actions. So, taking on an obligation that resulted from an action that you took is what is required to be accountable. And accountability can be a little tricky to assign because every action is preceded by another action. So, when someone is being held accountable for something, it's very tempting for that someone to go further and further back in time to pin the deed on someone else. And before you know it, everything started with the serpent in the Garden of Eden. So when Steve Harvey says that he wrote down all of the mistakes that women allowed him to make and put
Yes.
them into a book for women to learn from, what he did was assign an obligation to someone else for something that resulted from his mistakes. There is a word for that, but it's not accountability. It's called blame. Blame is to be accountable for a wrongdoing. It's to find someone responsible for a fault. By Steve Harvey's own words, he was the wrongdoer, ergo he deserves to be accountable for the fault. He deserves the blame. I know some of you may feel that helping women to look out for behavior like the one Steve admits to have exhibited in the past is a form of retroactive accountability. But real accountability would be to write a book teaching men that no matter what a woman will or will not allow, certain behaviors like treating women like notches on a belt are unacceptable. Knowing the difference between accountability and blame will help you to understand why Black men's insistence that you be quote unquote accountable is so treacherous. You can start with the single motherhood rate. Black men want you single mothers to be accountable for choosing the wrong men. Besides the fact that everyone, both men and women, choose wrong, and at least all except for one of your romantic relationships will eventually fail, besides the fact that the Black community should be embarrassed that the average Black child can't have a reasonable expectation that the average Black man will stick around after they're born, and besides the fact that the single motherhood rate is going up for women of all races as the census shows a rise in white and Hispanic single mothers with mixed children fathered by Black men, why would a woman need to be held accountable for a man abandoning his child? When a woman takes care of a child alone, when she shouldn't have to for the next 18 plus years, that is the accountability. That is taking on an obligation that resulted from the action of giving birth. What Black men want you to do is be responsible for their actions, to take the blame for their faults. When the person who needs to be blamed for the wrongdoing, abandoning a child in this case, is the person who did it. Sure, there are tools that Black women need to use to avoid being mistreated by others, practicing discernment or vetting, setting boundaries, and my favorite, plotting revenge, come to mind. But let's do a little thought experiment here. If you had a group of 10 hot in the pants boys ready to say and do anything to get a girl pregnant, and 10 girls who are equally as hot in the panties ready for morning sickness and prenatal vitamins, and you send them all out into the world, at the end of a year, which group do you think will have the most illegitimate children? Well, barring any twins, it's not possible for the girls to have more than 10 illegitimate children. But the group of boys can have an infinite number of partners and an infinite number of children that they will not stick around to raise. The fact that one irresponsible man can create so many broken homes and yet the community puts all of the responsibility on its women is in part why this strategy of eliminating single mother households hasn't been working. Men of other communities hold the men accountable because leaders hold themselves accountable first and everyone else second. But in the Black community, things are a little inverted. And when the community's message is that only women are responsible for children and that women who fail to get the fathers of their children to take on the responsibility of raising them deserve to be shunned, you can start to see why so many Black women have a built-in distrust of Black men, a reasonable suspicion that the men who approach them are there to take more than they give. All too often, they're proven right. Of course, Black men don't like when you have that kind of attitude, and let's face it, Black women do have to be accountable for their bad attitudes. It's not a myth. Your matriarchal ancestors developed a set of physical and personality traits that helps them survive an environment that their men could not protect them from, and that's still true today. Nonetheless, a bad attitude is a liability. Anywhere outside of Blackistan, a bad attitude hurts you more than it helps you, but many of you don't live outside of Blackistan, and that's the problem. You live in neighborhoods where men behave like this. And the supposed good guys and the educated lames that you're all overlooking can't or won't protect you from these goons that run the block, but demands that you walk around that same block feminine, fit, friendly, and submissive with a smile on your face. Let's be real here, black men aren't winning any congeniality contests either, but nobody has a problem when black men are as aggressive as they feel like they need to be to survive. 1,100 black girls and women have been killed so far this year. Last year, 1,500 of you were killed, 100,000 black women and girls went missing, and millions were assaulted. We haven't even mentioned children and the LGBTQ community. I find it disturbing that when the topic of what is destroying the black community comes up, black women's attitudes are at the top of the docket when the men can't even get the murder rate down. And I get it, crime is a symptom of poverty, but so is obesity and so are bad wigs. So why are we extending grace to men who terrorize their own neighborhoods, but not to women who try to survive alone in them? Every year, study after study shows that black women's obesity rates are a combination of abnormally high stress levels, overstretched food budgets that lead to poor quality food choices, lack of time to prepare healthy meals as they're often the only ones working in a household, and food deserts and food swamps where black women have limited access to fresh whole foods. But when you ask black men to build some grocery stores in these same deserts that their women and children live in, watch the look of confusion.
If there's any lies detected, feel free to come on up and speak your piece. Okay, you can disagree. There's nothing wrong with that. But if there are any lies detected, remember, I play both. I play men videos and I play woman videos. I do both. I am the middleman. So, if any lies is detected, speak your piece. Or you have to literally show me what she's saying. That is not true. That is not true. Then if it's not true, then we need to work on that. If you truly want to end this gender war, we have to work on that. So what she's saying is not true. I need to know what points that she's saying is not true, so we can research it and say, hey, she's wrong. But we just can't say, I disagree. We need to know, what do you disagree with? And then we will look it up and see if what she's saying is true or not. There is a gender war, is that. That's why I do what I do. It's sad, but it is. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. But it is what it is. You have some that's a stream for the male, some is a stream for the female. But it is a gender war. Hey, my truly. Okay. So we're going to carry, hey, my love. I got the undercover sniper truly in here. I got the sniper foot soldier in here. I got the sniper sugar delights in here. We are nothing but snipers all in this place. We will snipe you. But we ain't finished. We ain't finished. I'm glad my video came up. That's right, baby. We snipe. We snipe. We don't play. We don't play. Because a lot of people like me is getting shadow banned. So let's continue. Because we're not finished. We're not finished. But we have to hear both sides of the story. Like me. I don't just listen to women. I listen to women and men. I got to hear both sides of the story.
appear all over their faces and listen for the excuses that will follow. They want you to look like princesses. Every year, study after study shows that Black women's obesity rates are a combination of abnormally high stress levels, overstretched food budgets that lead to poor quality food choices, lack of time to prepare healthy meals. They're often the only ones working in a household, and food deserts and food swamps where Black women have limited access to fresh whole foods. But when you ask Black men to build some grocery stores in these same food deserts that their women and children live in, watch the look of confusion appear all over their faces and listen for the excuses that will follow. They want you to look like princesses and behave like princesses.
Now, I will tell you one thing. Guess who gives her time at a food pantry? Guess who? Me. I got 300 to 350 people that come to that food pantry. Guess how many of it, and it's not Black. I live in an area where it's multicultural. Multicultural. Now, if the Asians come, they come as a family unit, but they act like they're separate so they can get more than one. And then when you have the Hispanic, they come as a unit also to make sure they get more than one. The Russians come as a unit, but they come in as separate to get more than one. Now, when it comes down to our melanated people, they come by themselves. But out of 350 people there, you can still count the men that are there. There are mostly women that come. So it's either A, they're helping out with the family and bringing in extra food. And why would they have to bring in extra food? Or B, where are the men? And they need the extra food for the household. See, people who does this talking, this goes beyond barbershop talk. This goes beyond sitting on a corner talking to your friends. This goes beyond a social place. You have to really be in the community. Or if you left, you must have forgot how it went down. But you have to really be in the community to see what these mothers is doing and where these fathers are at. And they be like, well, they all dusties. Hey, it happens. But a lot of men that are not dusties does the same thing. And you cannot say no because you don't know every single man who claimed they alpha. You don't know every single working man. You don't know what they're doing for their children. But because it sounds good to the next man, y'all going to tell each other any old thing to make it seem like all of you guys on the same accord. Hey, Caroline. There go my lovely, beautiful Caroline. I mean, beautiful, lovely. So let's go.
In an environment that princesses do not belong. To raise little Black girls to be docile and fragile and demure in Blackistan is to raise daughters to be lambs to the slaughter. When the men don't feel like there's anything that they need to do to make your community safer and to help you drop those intergenerational defense mechanisms so that you can finally rest in your femininity, accountability becomes a new zip code. But heaven forbid a Black woman mentioned that she's only considering men.
Hold up. She said, ask the brother to build a store in the community and look at the confusion. I'm going to tell you where you're wrong. She asked the brother to build a store in the community and look at the look of confusion on their face. Most people know banks won't give Black people loans. That is incorrect. I know a couple of young brothers. And guess what? They pulled their money together and they opened up a supermarket. Yeah, in Bronx, New York. And they getting some more stores. And they are under 30. If you take all of that money, at least other cultures, if you're gonna tell it, tell it all. other cultures, when they do illegal stuff, if they do illegal stuff, allegedly, they take that money and they buy pizza shops, auto shops, bakeries. But when we get our money, we buy sneakers, chains, clothes. Nobody say, hey, let's take this money, which they get more than enough money, rolls through a community. Why? Because we keep the other stores open. So we can keep them other stores open, then why are we not investing that money back in our community? So you cannot blame that on the bank. A bunch of good brothers, if y'all having a conversation, then why aren't y'all working towards putting get y'all can I've seen it done by some young boys who said, hey, we never had a store on our block. And they went and put that store on their block, and they are under 30, between 34 and 28. They did it. They put a nail salon on their block. They all got together as a group of young men and did the damn thing. It is nothing that cannot be done. Hey, Swoop like me, how you doing? It's nothing that cannot be done. It may take us longer to do it, but it can be done. So now we got to find out what else is she wrong with, because that's not, she's not wrong there. It's too much money in our community that you think that is not. Oh yes, it is. And this is the regular hood. Can you imagine when you don't live in the hood?
Who can afford to move her out of these neighborhoods and into safer ones. After a long, shame-filled lecture about gentrification, here comes the pitchforks and the scarlet letter G for gold digger. And let's explore that. Are Black women really gold diggers? Because let the manosphere tell it, and you're all after these men for their hypothetical money.
A mansion, $10,000. Where he at?
It is true, Black men still earn more money than Black women, but married Black women are more likely to be the breadwinners in a Black household than the other way around, making Black men the most likely to marry up in both finances and education, and you the most likely to marry down. So the men can throw Cardi B lyrics to your faces all day, but you simply do not have a history of passing over men who earn less money. And Black women face disproportionate amounts of financial abuse from their intimate partners in comparison to all other demographics. But if you instead decided that you're going to do what's necessary to protect and provide for yourself, by yourself, watch your entire community chime in with their criticisms of your ambition, quickly reminding you that you can still have everything, but you're nothing without a man. And men don't care about your education or how much money you earn, which they should, since they don't seem to care about their education or how much money they earn. But you still have to survive living in this world, whether the men are willing and able to help you do it or not. They blame you for surviving without them, but you're not allowed to ask them to provide for you, as if most of them could. They're fine with you being a working woman, but they blame you for not making it look prettier. They blame you for your attitude, and they don't care that you live in rough neighborhoods because they blame you for the crime rates because you birthed the criminals. They blame you for going into debt, getting degrees like sociology or psychology that they say are useless because the Black community doesn't need social workers or therapists. And of course, they refuse to get the degrees for themselves. No matter what you do, Black men are going to blame you for this community's past, present, and future dysfunction. Interesting, no other community sees this the same way.
I can't tell you how often it is that these Black women are left
10 toes down.
All of this blame disguised as accountability. And why is that? Why are Black men all of a sudden so hell-bent on pointing the finger at you? Because if they weren't, then we would be focused on them and they would have to answer some tough questions. Like, while the single moms who got knocked up by Pookie and Ray Ray were raising all of these children alone, what were the good Black men doing with all of that extra time on their hands? What did they build? While the overweight women were getting all of
I gotta rewind that question. That is a question to be answered. What was the good men doing? While we took all the bad, we kept the bad ones up. What was y'all doing? Mm-mm-mm. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Uh-huh, uh-huh. I gotta, oh, here you go.
Single moms who got knocked up by Pookie and Ray Ray were raising all of these children alone. What were the good black men doing with all of that extra time on their hands? What did they build? While the overweight women were getting all of those useless degrees, what were the men doing with that time? What did they build? While the women with bad attitudes were starting businesses and getting into corporate America, what were the men doing with that time? Blame has been a very useful tool for black men because it shifts the focus to your unappreciated actions instead of black men's complete inaction. And why should they do anything for you anyway? History shows that if they don't raise the children, then you will. If they don't provide, then you will. And if you fall short in any way, then they can just blame you. Blame has become a cheap parlor trick for the dusties of the internet. And you're falling for it. That's why tweets like this go viral. We rejected men who were going to make us wives for guys who made us single mothers. Men are not trash, but our taste for men is trash. We are sorry. So apologizing to one group of men who did nothing for you for the actions of another group of men who abandoned their children, absolving the supposed leaders of the community, and indicting yourself is your understanding of accountability. And you wonder why you're on the bottom. Where is your self-respect? If you still need to understand the difference between accountability and blame, imagine you need to run errands in a neighborhood that you know isn't safe. You have to park your car and you know there's a chance that it could be stolen. Accountability for keeping your car safe would be locking the door, maybe putting a club on the steering wheel. Let's say you didn't do those things and your car was stolen. Accountability would be filing a police report, calling insurance, etc., etc. But who would be to blame? Blackistan would blame you. You should have known better. Not locking your doors would be asking to get your car stolen. Even if you did lock your doors, you shouldn't have parked in that neighborhood. You shouldn't have come on that night. Somehow you would be responsible for the wrong that took place. But the law would put the blame on the car thief because they are the actual wrongdoers. And there is a reason why no matter if you locked your door or not, if you put a club on your steering wheel or not, or bought a LoJack or not, the person who stole your car will always be the person that the law will hold responsible. Because when a society ensures that a wrongdoer is forced to take the blame for their wrongdoing, there is order. But if the wronged can be held responsible for the wrongdoer's actions, that society will devolve into chaos because men will feel like they can get away with anything and blame it on the victim. And that is what is happening in Blackistan. It's not a community, it's a cratocracy, warlord rule where might makes right, a code of ethics that says that the strong can prey on the vulnerable, and if you allow it to happen, then you deserve what you get. And you go right along with it. Like a battered woman in an abusive relationship, you believe that when someone hurts you, somehow you caused it to happen. It seems as though the community believes that the missing key to ending the dysfunction is Black women being held accountable. So be accountable. If the complaint is that Black women are having children with absentee fathers and all of these fathers are Black men, stop having children with Black men. If the complaint is that Black women are raising these boys to be thugs and criminals, don't raise boys, reconsider having them. If the complaint is that the girls have a bad attitude, don't raise them in a rough neighborhood, you need to move. If the complaint is that these girls are supposed to be looking for a husband to take care of them in college instead of putting off motherhood for a career, who are responsible if supporting these men ruins your lives and you'll be thrown to the accountability wolves, then don't support Black men in prison. Don't entertain Black men who have a criminal record for any reason under any circumstances. In fact, do not uphold any code about no snitching. Clean up the trash in your neighborhoods. The prisons might be filled with Black men, but the crime rate is at a record high, so maybe not enough of them have been put away. Don't entertain or marry men who can't afford to pay for a wife and children to live in a safe neighborhood. And if you can't find one, then don't have children. No work with a brother, no hold a brother down, no help a brother out, no nothing. Accountability is the total removal of your presence and your support because of it. And in a nation with ever increasing history of passing over men who earn less money, and Black
Oh, we're not finished. We're not finished. No, I don't think she was. I think because we said barbershop talk, which I said barbershop talk, and she just happened to put barbershop talk. But I'm gonna tell her not to use your brother. Take her brother out of here. What's his name? What's his name? Hey, Blanche. Hey, baby. How you doing, love? Now we're gonna have a man tell it. Let's see what he say. See, people be thinking this is man and woman. No, this is not a woman channel. This is not a man channel. This is the truth channel. This is the people in the middle ground channel. So if y'all think that this is about, no, this is real life. And we're gonna speak upon accountability. We're gonna speak upon accountability. Period and point blank. I don't care who it's coming from. The same way we sit there and we watch Bigo and we say what we say about them chicks on Bigo, nobody don't be like, oh, black women is checking black women, or B women is not checking B women. Yes, we are. We check them all the time. Well, do we got to just, like, I mean, let's go. This is Timus and Toph. Let's check them out.
Here, let's go.
Can somebody explain to me exactly what black women did to make damn near every race, even a lot of our own black men, hate us?
Sure can. Took advantage of government assistance. Kicked us out of the house. Joined the feminist train and demonized your men. Allowed billions of dollars every year to exit our community on fake aesthetics of beauty. Praised and joined homosexual men while demonizing heterosexual men that assert themselves. Took our children away from us and used them as bargaining chips to further financially disenfranchise us. Used sex as a weapon in our intimate relationships to get what you want. Became the only women in the world to tell the world that they don't need their men. Perpetuated the trope that black women are the backbone of black communities, which directly implies that black men have no spine and are useless. Continually pushing the narrative that black women are the winners of the oppression Olympics while not having any metric of which they are treated worse than black men. Allowed their weight to slip such that sexual attraction is diminished. Hot girl summer. Engaged heavily in prostitution, legal sex work, OnlyFans, etc., and then demanded that your men protect and respect you. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I can make a part 2.
You can make a part 10.
A lot of people have asked me to respond to that. No, thank you. I will not be responding to that. Outside of just ignorance and lies, I decided that I would focus more on something very specific, right? The glee with which he came forward to answer the question and say, oh, I can make a part 2, implies that he is accepting the premise of the Venus question, which is, why do black men hate black women? I.e., black men hate black women, right? Instead of, pushing back on the premise on which the question is based and then complaining if you want, he accepts the premise and then explains why the premise is what it is. So I'm not going to go back and forth with that man. And the reason I'm not going to go back and forth with him is because, did women take your children from you, or did you abandon your children, right? Did women kick you out of the house, or were you quote unquote bumming it, right? With these women, right? Are these women becoming quote unquote feminists, or is there a requirement for 50-50, right? Like, I feel like there's just this kind of delusion happening, and I don't feel like engaging any further than I have on that specific thing, right? Now, a subscriber sent us this video. She posted it on her channel. I'm actually watching it from her channel, Erica, and we're going to watch this video. This is all going to make sense in a moment, but I need to get through the sort of dialogue that is happening, and then we can attempt to break through it, right? So here's what Erica said.
Why are so many black men dating Latinas and dating white women more than ever? And here's my quick response. No stress, no drama, that simple. When we walk out the house every day as black men, it's a high probability that we might not make it home. So the last thing we want to do is come back home to an argument, to a bunch of stress, and a bunch of unnecessary trauma. And it's that simple. Is this an attack on black women? No. I love my black queens. I love my black.
First of all, you little colonizers need to stop attempting to judge black women based on European femininity standards, since we all know that we birthed all this shit. I mean, what if we started holding you to European masculinity standards? I mean, what if we started expecting you to make things like laws, or own things like land, or govern things like countries? Or what about free things like yourself or us? If you're gonna tell the story, tell the whole story. Tell the people how, when you date and marry out, that you, one, turn them into single mothers at a higher rate than even black women. And when you do finally decide to marry them, that you have a 200% higher divorce rate than any coupling. In fact, black men have the highest divorce rate of anyone. So I suppose that since most of those divorces are initiated by the women, that at some point they realize that the grass isn't greener on the darker side of the fence. Let me give you some high probabilities for black women when they walk through your doors. 60% of all black women and girls are raped or molested before the age of 18 by black men. Black women are killed by domestic partners 3 times that of any other race of women by black men. And 60% of all new HIV cases in black women are from their husbands and boyfriends, not from casual sex. And since we know that black women date out at only a rate of about 4%, almost all of those cases are from y'all. If this is your idea of love for black queens, let me speak for the collective and say, it's a hard pass. But you, sir, don't have any queens because you are not a king. You are a colonized pawn in the game of patriarchy, doing the clear man's bidding by spreading stereotypical tropes about black women based on their standards. Bless your heart.
That the lady handled that, so we don't have to. It's so unfortunate that for a lot of people to get this, they have to get dragged all over the internet first before they realize that, well, maybe the problem isn't with everyone else, maybe it's with me, right? And it's one of the very strange things, right? This group.
This collection really reflects my mood. It's something that I can wear.
Black men in this case, and very specific groups, right, within the black community. They will talk about how horrible black women are, but won't take into consideration the fact that every other woman seem to have the same complaint about them. And not that every other woman is right, but if you're going to extrapolate from your experiences and the experiences of black men generally, then it doesn't make sense for your understanding of the world to be so biased that you cannot see that it's not just black women who have the complaints. It's not just black women who are being turned into the single mothers with absentee fathers. Like, every race of women that you engage with becomes that. But so maybe it's not everyone else, and maybe it is you, right? Like, maybe it's the system, right? but it's not everyone else. It might be you, or it might be the system, but it's not everyone else. The same outcome happening to everyone seems to suggest that the constant is all right. So I am now taking it a step further, right? And the reason I'm taking it a step further is because a part of what is happening is in answering the question about why black men don't like black women in the affirmative from black men on the internet is this pointing to other race of women, races of women, and explaining how better it is over there with other groups of women. All right, Jeannie Mae comes to mind.
Jeannie Mai.
I don't know. She comes to mind, and black men have online. And when I say black men, I think I need to be very specific here because the black men that I know would never do some foolishness like this. But the black men online, those are who I'm talking about, right? The black men online are praising young Jeezy, I don't know, the rapper, for quote unquote bagging Jeannie Mai, right? Now, as a black man, I was very much ashamed when I saw this relationship. And no, it is not because I think Jeannie Mai is a bad person or whatever. No, it is because of what she said. I find it very difficult to believe that a self-respecting black man would date Jeannie Mai. Now, I will play that video from the reel in a moment because it makes no sense, right? But before I do that, let's go to O'Shea Duke Jackson because he's one of the content creators who seem to believe
in Jeannie Mai, who's like in her early 40s now. Her and Young Jeezy are
usually the norm, right? Except for black men. So let's not pretend that black men aren't dating. Majority are dating intra-racially, marrying intra-racially. But when compared to other groups of men, black men are just not marrying intra-racially, right? And dating intra-racially. Now, they are in large part, but when compared to mating.
And if those options are better, they will execute them. This is coming from a guy who's a pro-black. Okay? I prefer to deal with people in the African American.
Please read the book, It's Marriage for White People. Please read that book. Anyway, it literally does not make sense that you are saying black women aren't willing to do the work. No. Statistically, you're going to have to claim that black men aren't doing the work. Or at least no one cares about the work they're doing, and so it still ends in divorce, regardless of what race they decide to engage with. So, again, literally makes no sense. All right, let's continue. Yeah, this is just a lot. This is a lot.
But everybody is not me. Okay?
Nobody wants you, O'Shea. Nobody wants you, O'Shea. Now, I get what he's saying with the Jeezy and the Jeannie Mai. Like, there's nothing wrong if they found love. But why didn't his first baby mother, why wasn't she crying that, oh, I feel so safe? I feel so safe around him. He makes me feel like everything, it's okay. See, the good thing is that now the lesson to be learned to my melanated women, she made sure she felt that way before she gave that man a baby. See, we don't. We so not used to feeling safe we don't know about feeling safe just to make sure that I can have your baby. We so used to the struggle, which is okay. That's all we have always done was struggle. Like homeboy had 50 million reasons. So my thing is then go about your business. Bye. One less we gotta worry about. But you never hear too many women sit up there every single day and cry like Jeannie Mai of how safe she feel. Like even when he proposed to her and she couldn't go to her native country, he brought it to the house. Like, did he do all this for his first mother? For his first baby mother? Like, where was all this love then? Was it all this love and the baby mama refused it and she accepted it? Because from what I see, he goes out of his way. So why don't our melanated men go out of their way for us? So it is a deep, I'm not going to say that word, that it's a deep H towards us. It's a deep dislike for us. For some reason, it's ingrained in us. It's ingrained in us. And in time, we can't even keep asking the question why anymore. We are beyond asking the question why. It is just what it is. It's ingrained in us so much. We know where it started from, but we can't keep going back to where it started from and then try to fix it. So what they're doing now is they're coming with these extremes to quote unquote call it tradition, knowing that in America, we never had a tradition. Somebody please tell me what was our Black people tradition. How you come to a new country, we didn't bring nothing. It is exactly true, Zeke. Hey, Zeke, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you, my brother. So, and then the Black man never felt close enough to the Black woman to where he was ever her savior. So he doesn't know how to be a savior. When you always constantly, if you go back into the days of the SL, back in the days when some of us was born here, most of us was here already. When you constantly has to be a bodyguard for the next man's wife and you got to do everything that she say, he's used to catering to the Caucasian woman. He's just used to doing it. He's used to doing everything for every other woman but his, and it's not his fault. See, I'm the one to say it's not the Black man's, it's not the B man's fault. It's a shame you got to watch your words on here. I just got shadow bans. I got to be careful. But I get it. It's not your fault. It's ingrained inside of you. Even when you married your own woman, all you had y'all had so many kids. It was nothing but work, pay the bills, go to sleep, wake up. Wasn't no TV, no radio. So you made another baby. Because you didn't have too much more to do. You was tired from working all day. No TV, no radio, make another baby. No TV, no radio, you make another baby. That's why the families were so big. But far as like standing up for her, he is not really ingrained in the Black man to do that. It's not ingrained. It's not ingrained in a Black woman to wait for a Black man to do it. We've always had to hold down the kids. That is something that is ingrained in us, and we just have to just start saying, you know what? We're not going to keep blaming it on the public assistant system, because at the end of the day, there's no way you could be head of the household and the woman is able to kick you out. That is no. You didn't marry that woman, and you're not head of the household. Now, if she still stay in the same spot and don't move, she couldn't take the kids from you because she never moved. It was not no way she took her kids from you because she's still in the same spot. You kept going. Until we learn to say, you know what? We don't know each other. We may think we know each other, but we really do not know each other. Because of all the things that happened to us, we never had the ball, and we made the game up as we went along. Y'all men have to stop saying that feminine stuff. If women went to if we went to with the feminists, that's because you was something that you wasn't able to do. we had to go over there. But so did you guys too. So did you guys too. Y'all had to work for the master too. Y'all had to go to the master too. One man mentioned the word bank. So the same way y'all went to the bank was that a black bank? I don't think so. But it was a bank. So we both had to go to our oppressor. That's not nothing new. We both had to go to our oppressor for something. So why are we blaming each other for trying to eat or build or just keep food in the household and a roof over your head? We don't want to just, it's really that simple. But we don't know how to forgive and say, this is what happened to us, and now forgive us as a people. And that's what I'm trying to get to. I'm not trying to do these battles. I'm old enough. I know all these battles already. I'm not going to do regurgitated stuff all the time, stating that why he's so bad and why he's terrible and why he's no good and why she's this and why she's that. We cannot mend it because it's ingrained. We're going to have these conversations forever. But one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to be groomed, and no child, no woman, child of mine will not be groomed to fix human ego. That's the only thing that's not going to happen. Y'all talk too much about women anyway to even really grow. You can't be grown and talking about us all day. But then again, that's why not? That's where the money coming at. That is where the money coming at. Talking about us all day. Somebody telling you what you look like. Like, who gives you the right to tell somebody not to give them an average this or average that? But we're going to continue. You know, I have to do my commentary.
Understand that you have a lot of black men who are like me, that they don't want nothing but a black woman communities. You're going to see those guys.
Specifically for black women, I actually don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, right? I don't know necessarily if the fact that we can carve out, when we say women date for money, if we can carve the fact that they are black women specifically who will date men who aren't as educated as them, because that's that.
You never told me Grandpa won a Purple Heart.
Unemployed or underemployed, right, who do not have sufficient income to support a family, right? I mean, how are black women going to be hypergamous when the average income in the black community
Hey,
is
James, much love. Welcome.
Particularly when black women are the least likely to be out of their race, that is. So, no, I'm answering a question he's going to pose later regarding the fact that women all date men for money. So the fact that white women and other women are trying to date black men who have resources is nothing new. It's not. But when you think about within the culture, the black community, black women tend not to do this. And actually, they are chastised for even attempting to do it, right? That the idea of quote unquote gold digging is specifically aimed at black women, right? So let's be clear about this. And I'm answering a question he poses later, but I need to do it now. But let's continue, because O'Shea Duke Jackson is just
this. It qualifies them to be in the same category of a man. Okay? These guys,
particularly numbers for black women, the number is 35, I believe it was, right? And you've hit the wall and you're too old or whatever. But he says an Asian woman who is over 40 has more of a chance to get with a black man. Please tell us why. Why is it that black men would want to date a 40-something-year-old Asian woman and not a a 40-something-year-old Black woman. Please tell us why.
Please.
So let's continue, because here's where he
I'm
gets to
waiting.
the point about
I'm waiting. I just not.
every woman date for money and resources. So let's go.
Okay? That's my personal opinion. Keisha Cole's life has been in shambles. All right? What does she are really give women all this opportunity?
Wanting to be with him and men like him does not make sense. Unless he was opening up the sort of net, if you will, when it comes to men, to include all races of men, nothing he says is of consequence at all within the Black community. It's just not enough. Not enough people making that kind of money. It's not enough people doing what he thinks men are doing to make it so that women need to be competing for these men. I mean, and just the raw numbers of Black women, just that keeps coming up on this here because it's super important. But let him continue to cape for Jeannie Mai. Y'all already know what I'm gonna play next, but I'm still gonna do it when it comes to Jeannie Mai and why it is that I think there are a segment of people who just don't have self-respect, and they will take anything that comes their way just to have proximity to something else that's not Black. But no one is going to talk about that in the manosphere. No one's going to talk about the entrenched ideas around whiteness and closeness to whiteness, even though she is Asian, and what that has done to the Black community. They're not going to do that. Instead, they're going to put the blame and the focus on Black women and what Black women need to do, as opposed to look at their own ideas and how their minds have been shaped by being dominated by white supremacy.
It's the truth. We always talk about protect Black women, and Kevin Samuels made an excellent point. You want to help.
That's one, but let's go with this world. If these are the Black men, right, who have the money and the resources and could be leaders in the community, builders in the community, as you just stated earlier.
And these guys who are open to anything are going to be the kind of guys that, in my opinion, have a lot more opportunity than not. These are going to be your guys who are very white collar workers, the skilled labor force, your attorneys, your doctors, your engineers, okay, your technical guys, your computer engineers, your
I had to
systems
skip
guys,
past him. Oh my God!
your guys
I
who
have
are
to
even in
skip by.
blue collar work. Don't let
I
that
gotta
skip
skip him.
money.
Oh my goodness!
True.
I meant to skip
This
him.
is literally
Goodness.
not true. The fact that people keep saying, "Oh, Black women kicked Black men out of the home because they wanted welfare," indicate that it is not true that Black women wanted men for their money. They were with men who did not have money and could not provide. A lot of these men
Say that
can provide.
again.
A lot of men, period, cannot provide. Right? So this idea that all women want men for money is not true.
Let me go back.
Could not provide. A lot of true. This is
Now let me rewind that. This is coming from a man, not a woman. This is coming from a man. We wanted money so much from you men, we decided to get welfare. Well, honey, not every woman. Some women, shit, they on his YouTube now trying to get money, trying to get a donation or trying to get monetized. Women try to do everything to take care of they little bambinos. But I meant to fast forward him because I don't want him to say I used his content. But this guy, I really like this guy, and I want to check him out more. What you laughing at, Zeke? Well, every man knows if you come in here, y'all know I consider y'all my kings. So y'all know not to get offended. Because y'all know we talk about them women too. See, the men in here, may not on this channel, on my Tony T channel though. Y'all know for a fact we going on women. We be looking at them Bigo videos and we go in on them. So y'all can't say we don't go in on them thoughts and stuff. Don't never get it twisted. We was right, was right, was wrong, was wrong. Sometimes I got to stop the video and pray. I'm telling you. We got to stop the video. Sometimes these women are so crazy and so, they so out of order. I got to stop the video. Like, oh, Lord. Then I got to breathe. So no man can't come up in here and say, oh, she about male bashing. Then you don't know about this channel. Goodbye. Zapped. If anybody come in here thinking this is a male bashing channel, thank you, Zeke. You remember. You remembered. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's about balance. But if you think it's coming up in here talking about male bashing, zap their ass out. Y'all know how to snipe. Snipe them on out of here. Because then that's taking us off balance. But we go in on them girls and people now be like, Lord Jesus, oh Lord, look at the baby right there. The whole chat got something to say. So let's go back to this.
Literally not true. The fact that people keep saying, oh, black women kick black men out of the home because they wanted welfare indicate that it is not true that black women wanted men for their money. They were with men who did not have money and could not provide. A lot of these men can provide. A lot of men, period, cannot provide, right? So this idea that all women want men for money is not true. There is a hypergamy community on YouTube, and part of the push, the whole reason why it exists for black women is the realization that black women are the willing, right, to date men who have nothing financially to offer them. And a lot of black women invest and take charge financially in their relationship. So no, not all women date men for money. Now go down in the comments and make normative judgment about why they should or should not. That's not why I'm here to do. I'm just saying no. And yes, I decided to stop flashing stats up on the screen. One, less work for me, but two, more work for you guys who want to challenge anything that I say. Please go do your own work, because now I'm annoyed with it. No one is actually doing any research. They're just coming on and making videos and really just saying nothing. O'Shea Duke Jackson is saying nothing, but we're going to finish this.
Hit me with the, oh, she gonna call the police on you. Oh, you know, you're afraid of the black woman. No. Interesting
Separate note that I must point out now, there is always this invocation of Emmett Till. And I am thinking now that most people who invoke his name and imagery don't understand what happened then. Because people who are pro dating out, which is, by the way, I am pro doing whatever you want to do. But when
all right, don't tell me he's selling out. To a certain degree, that could be true, but I don't think it's the whole entire story. Why is it that he's not able to find that? And I know Atlanta got a lot of beautiful women out there, but are they ready for men?
All right, I'm done with him. And the reason I'm done with O'Shea Duke Jackson right now is because I didn't make it this far in the preliminary review, because honestly, it's very difficult to listen to him. But colorism might be one of them. You think? I don't understand why it's so difficult to do and not go to a therapist, which we all should do, but there is some level of psychological work that needs to be done to admit certain truths, right? And one of those truths is that, well, a lot of us, not just Black people, but it happens in Asia, it happens over the continent of Africa, right? Asia, India, for example, South Korea, right? Where people actually lighten their skin, right? This is part and parcel due to the sort of global impact of white supremacy, right? And so, yes, it is a part of the story about why it is that a 40-something-year-old Asian woman in O'Shea Duke Jackson's mind have more of a chance to get with a Black man without even qualifying it about beauty or anything like that. He just made that blanket statement. It is true, because a lot of us have been taught that the closer you are to white, the better you. Is a huge part of the conversation. Let's hurry up because the video is longer than it needs to be. Honestly, it's longer than it needs to be. I was going to add a part of the live stream where the young lady said black women are the right hand of white supremacy without any ability to back it up. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to move on. And this is the woman, right? Jeannie Mae. This is the woman that these people are seemingly, and by these people I mean black men. I don't know what self-respecting black man would look at Jeannie Mae and what she had said, and in any way think that it is a win for young Jeezy to be with her after she has so very articulately in her mind explained when she was with a white man.
Oh yeah.
What she prefers and why it is that she would marry a white man and not a black.
Oh, she sure enough did say that. Yes, she did.
You dated black guys.
Loved black guys. Yeah, I did. But for me, dark meat on the side, white keeps me mean and lean. You know, that's why I married white man. That's what I like.
Hold up. What do you mean, dark meat on the side?
Lightweight offensive. No, I'm not. I'm saying like I really do think black men.
Thank you.
I am not even going to get in there. There's a ton of content creators that went at her for that. I'm just going to
and having a black baby.
When young Jeezy was asked about it, is it young Jeezy or just Jeezy? I don't know. When Jeezy was asked about it, he wanted us to know, but let me not speak for him. Let's hear what he had to say. Because let me tell you, no self-respecting black person would have dated a Jeannie Mae after that. Like, come on.
I've always wanted to ask you this. So there was a comment that she said on The Real a while ago, and she basically said she likes her, what was it, lean and white meat, but then she likes her dark meat on the side. Did y'all ever talk about those comments that she made back in the day?
I'm gonna tell you how real she is.
Because you the entree now, FYI.
We always the entree. But before we even started, we had that conversation.
Really?
You know first thing when we really talked, she sat me down. She said, "Listen, it was something that I said, and it might have got taken out of context, and I want you to listen to it in its entirety." And I did. And I think you guys do journalism.
Mm-hmm.
You guys do it every day. People can take what they want.
Who then aired her video? There was no out of context. She said what she said.
Hey,
like, we're
Tina.
not going to pretend. She came back and she apologized and she said, oh, that's not what I meant and blah, blah, blah. And part of it might have been to boost her man's ego. Who knows? I don't care. But for you to sit there, right, and say, oh, we spoke about it and she's solid and she didn't mean it like that and people took it out of context, please contextualize. Please, I wish I was doing that interview because my very next question would be, oh yeah, my bad. We probably misunderstood and took it out of context. Could you contextualize it? Because I'm sure she didn't just say, oh, they took it out of context. I am sure she explained to you the context. The context was she was married to a white man who was well-to-do, reportedly. She did a segment and she said that she liked... She did a segment and she said she liked her dark meat on the side. And the main course was her white man. So, again, contextualize for us. Because we, the John Q public, we're ignorant at this point. But you won't. Because you can't. And you've made the decision to be with her. That's fine. But for everyone running around acting like this is a win, it is not. This, at least to me, is an example of someone who is willing to put aside the bad qualities of someone, and that's fine, the mistakes that someone has made, and be with them, right? Having a child with them, right? That's fine. But when we think about why black men date out, there are a myriad of reasons. One of which is, honestly, because of slavery. And the ideas around whiteness and closeness to whiteness.
Mm-hmm.
A willingness to take almost anything that would give you access to whiteness or as close to whiteness as you can, give some people a sense of validity. I am not saying that is the case for Jeezy. I'm not saying that is the case for anyone that I know who date interracially, but I do know that it is the case for some people. And a willingness to add resource to another community, fine, do it. But the glee with which Black men keep coming out and explaining why Black women are the devil in their minds, right? The
Because he's finished. Now, like I said, if there are any men that want to tell their side of the story, you always got a voice. Don't just listen to us. No, come tell your story. Okay. Now we're going to get to the next one. Uh-oh. Let me go get it. I be thinking I be having stuff ready and I be messing up. Y'all know I be always messing up. Okay.
That you foolishly overlooked. We talking about men.
I like her. She's mahogany pink. I like her. I stand by my statement because Jeannie Mai used to be in love with Jeezy in the 80s, but he was still messing around. No. Jeannie Mai says she first met Jeezy when he came to the show. So unless you know something that we don't know, or she just lied. She lied and said she met him on the show. She didn't say nothing about the 90s. He wasn't out in the 80s. Matter of fact, he wasn't out in the 90s. He was out in the 2000s, to be exact. He was out in the 2000s. He wasn't even out in the 90s. If he was, it was the late 90s. Maybe it was another Jeezy Tina talking about. Another Jeezy. Or Tina showing her age. And Jeannie Mai would have been a baby. She just 40. It would be, that's why it would be in the 2000s. You 20 years, you pushed them, you made them 20 years older. You made them 20 years older, Tina. Tina, stop.
Kevin Samuels and the men who imitate him have become major internet personalities by roasting and bullying Black women into settling for dusty, abusive men. And when I say dusty men, I want to be clear.
And please know that I do not, that's what I said the 2000s. No, you're supposed to bring your opinions. This is that's what keep the balance in here is that please feel free to bring your opinions. Tell them, Zeke. Tell them, Zeke, this channel is all about balance. If we don't listen to what you might have to say, then I'm not keeping the balance. But I just want to say their views on certain things are not my views. I just play the videos and yeah, agree to disagree, love. We still all good in the hood. You could agree to disagree. I'm just putting my disclaimer out here. And I wish somebody write me a disclaimer. All of their views are not my views. Like I don't subscribe to like a pink pill or woman this or woman. Them are not. So certain things in there, I do not agree with. But this I spoke upon. Then she's a liar. She's a liar, Tina. She's a liar. So now we're not going to believe nothing else she say because she's a liar. Now, I was speaking upon the grooming of setting these women up to be in narcissistic, abusive relationships that I spoke of. That's why I picked this video. But far as like the diverse and all that other stuff, that is not my point of view. So let me put that disclaimer out there. I do not want to hear this is who she's down with. No, I'm down with me. I'm down with me. I'm too old to be down with anybody. I'm down with myself and the people who's in my chat. I ain't down with no group. But I spoke upon this, and that's why I'm showing you this. Yeah, Z. I don't know. Cool. I'm glad you get it now, bro. I'm glad you get it, bro. I don't know where it is, but I'm for sure she used to like when I don't know, but she said the first time she met him, and I can't pull it up for you because that's straight up copyright. So you need to go find it. When she first met, Google when Jeannie Ma first met Jeezy. You will hear what she say, and then you could say that's not what she said before. So you have to do your homework on that. So remember, I don't subscribe to none of these women. It's just that I spoke upon the abuse and the narcissism and the sociopaths. Okay. Now my job is I usually go after the women. I don't usually go after the men. I go after the women because I think women should check women. So if anybody watch my channel, they know I'm always talking about my best friend, and my best friend will be next. Hold on tight. You know I got to end with my best friend. Yes, ma'am. But this part, I believe, is 100% true, not what they stand for.
I'm specifically talking about men who are, for any number of reasons, be it unemployment, underemployment, incarceration, substance abuse, home insecurity, debt, laziness, any other reason, incapable or unwilling to protect and provide for a woman and a family, but at the same time feels entitled to everything a woman has to offer, including her reproductive abilities. That is the definition of Dusty that I'm working with, and these men come in every age and every race. It's just that most men who fit this description right now tend to be Black, as they have the highest rates of all the characteristics that I just mentioned, and Kevin Samuels has become their new messiah. Why? According to them, Kevin Samuels is finally saying all of the things that men are thinking and wish that they could say to women.
And I'm telling women what men really wish they could say, but they can't say this stuff. The stuff that I'm saying is the stuff that guys are like, they said in the barbershop, on the basketball court. But it used to be okay to say it, but we went to sleep.
There's no shortage of Black men who write and direct films where you're the villain or the antagonist of Black men. No shortage of films depicting you as some unfortunate stereotype, or books written by Black men criticizing you for everything under the sun, or religious cults that tell you that you are the cause of the fall of the Black man. There's no shortage of Facebookers, Instagrammers, YouTubers, or TikTokers that have been publicly dragging you for filth with
That
a
is
list of
true.
grievances that is about
Now,
as
that is
long
true.
as a CVS receipt, way before Kevin Samuels was helping Black men pick out the perfect cologne.
Dark skins ain't my type, but I smash just to see what it's like. You feel me?
And I'm not saying that Black women don't contribute to the gender war, because we do. But the idea that Black men have been silenced is a gaslight, if I have ever heard one.
White America has used Black women to keep the Black male in his place. And you're still aiding him by saying, well, we are qualified. We want to work. We can help.
With all of the evidence that shows that they've been complaining about you since day one, saying that they haven't been able to say what they really mean is an indication that they really wish they could be even more brutal and even more violent towards you than they have been in the past. Black men love Kevin Samuels and have made him their Lord and Savior because, according to them, he's holding you accountable when you refuse to hold yourselves or each other accountable. You, Black women, the ones who went from degenerate welfare queens and illiterate teen moms to most college enrolled and most likely to start a business in one generation, you have an issue with accountability, really. But those things don't count to these men, because getting educated and building isn't the accountability that you're supposed to be taking. That's supposed to be their job, and you're doing it for them, which is part of where the anger comes from. But we'll get back to that. These men believe that Kevin Samuels is helping single Black women get married by shattering this delusion that you have options in men, so that you can finally see the decent blue-collar Black man that you foolishly overlooked only to get ran through by Pookie, Ray Ray, and Tyrone. Or so that's the story that's being told. We're going to examine this premise, but let me start by saying that Kevin Samuels isn't trying to help Black women when he says that they're built like a linebacker.
Now, what I would say, what we have to start exploring more on is, yes, we have to start exploring more on Black mothers. Because all of these men have mothers. We have to explore these mothers who raised these Dusties. See, a lot of problems that we have is the mother don't step in. These mothers is letting their sons either talk against women and not saying, hey, what? Or you got a lot of these women that know their son is a couch potato. Their son don't do nothing. They know these things. How are you doing, Indigenous? They know these things. So yes, these men are speaking out, but we have to start going back into the Black mother. Yes, we do all we can, but if nobody else know their son, a mama know her son. If nobody else know her daughter, a mama know her daughter. So why are these things being constantly said? Where are their mamas? Where are they mamas to say, no, I raised you. No, I did not kick you out for no wealth. Did they mothers agree with this? They see their sons all the time. When did these mothers ever say, hey, that's why people, oh, I ain't gonna tell my kids this. You better let your kids know. You just gotta put it in a way that they understand. You have to put it in a way that they will understand. You don't have to say, well, this happened, that happened. But a lot of these men are really thinking, where are they getting these ideas from if they got a mama in their house? Did your mother work or she didn't work? And if she received public assistance, was your father ever in the house or did he take off? See, This is why you have to be careful of this information that you're listening to. Where are the fathers that's telling their sons, hey, I was not a good dad. Your mom did the best she could do. All of these people have parents. And I guarantee you, anybody who made this video, talk about their mama if you want to. Say, minute they said, they kicked us out, they did this, they did that. Say, yeah, that's what your mama did. I guarantee you're going to have a fight on your hands. I guarantee you're going to have a fight on your hands. So we're going to continue on before I get into my best friend.
Or any of the other disgusting comments that he makes for them towards you. This is not about helping you. This is about controlling you, because gender relations are a never-ending balancing act of who is in control. And Kevin Samuels gives dusty, abusive Black men a step-by-step guide to winning power over you. Step 1, defeminization. So before someone can manipulate a person into buying into an idea that isn't in their best interest, they have to create a need in them first, a problem that only they can solve, a hole that only they can fill. And Kevin Samuels and the men who imitate him know that the right button to press with Black women is to attack your femininity. The history of violence and hard labor that Black women have endured over centuries has impressed on many of you a roughness that you feel insecure about. And despite the fact that you're born with the mind, body, and spirit of a woman, with the hormones and sexual organs and desires of a woman, despite being just as sensitive and emotional as any other woman, your womanhood is always in question. According to Kevin Samuels, if you're getting an education and you're putting that first, you're operating in your masculine. If you're working and paying your own bills, you're operating in your masculine. If you're independent, you're operating in your masculine. If you have sex for personal pleasure, you are operating in your masculine. God forbid you say you don't need a man. You might as well untuck your nutsack, because if you're doing anything with your life that isn't for the purpose of catching, keeping, or pleasing a man, then you are not feminine and your womanhood is denied. Defeminization is the first step of control, because if they can get you to believe that you're not a woman unless they choose you, then they have successfully created a problem for you that only they can solve. Which brings us to the next step: artificial scarcity. So now that Kevin Samuels has convinced you that you can't be a whole woman until you have a man, his next step is to up your anxiety levels by creating artificial scarcity in your minds. This is where he reminds you that there aren't enough high-value men out there, so you have to compete. Let's be clear here. Thanks to centuries of killing women all across this planet for bullshit reasons, there are about 100 million more men in the world than women. That's about 4 Australias worth more men than women. Yes, there's more women than men in the USA, and yes, there's more Black women than Black men in the USA, but that just means that despite what anyone says, you cannot afford to limit your dating pool to Black American men only. Because if you opened up your dating options to all men, not just Black men, you can only class English speaking Mexico. There's no shortage of hiding other than just join a few dating apps and get out more. But I digress. Kevin Samuels and the men who imitate him have to convince you that there's a scarcity of men with the available resources to take care of you and a family. And that simply isn't the case, especially if you're in schools and all that other shit, so long as they have their king at home blowing their back out on an air mattress 4 nights a week. But you're supposed to feel like you don't have options and you can't think about focusing on your career so that you can
remember, some of these things do not contain me. And that's the one, when she gets to certain parts, I have to fast forward. I have to fast forward because I ain't going that direction. I don't want nobody to get confused with the, as they call it, what is it? Divest, the rest, whatever. But my thing is, I've been told you guys, it's about grooming and controlling. Grooming and controlling. I have said time and time again. Time and time again. And I wish I knew the video when girlfriend said to us, we got to have 13 kids. I mean, be 8, but by the age of 18, we should have 3 kids. Y'all gonna have to probably look back at them videos, but that's what she said. That's what she said. That's what she said.
Step where Kevin Samuels calls Black women to the carpet and tells you whether or not you even qualify for a man of means. Spoiler alert, you never do. And this part is Kevin Samuels' bread and butter, because it's the part where he humiliates these poor, foolish women who call into his show. This is where you find out that Lori Harvey and Beyonce are only 8s and your donut eating ass is average on your best day. Then it's the weight shaming. You're too fat for a high earning man. Then it's the age shaming. You're too old for a high earning man. Then it's the single mother shaming. And this one really hurts a lot of Black women because unfortunately so many of you gave your wombs to men who were not marriage material, or you simply didn't require marriage from a man and so you didn't get it or the protection that it comes with, but you gave him a legacy and it left you in a vulnerable place where it's even more difficult to land a man who's marriage material. Not to mention you're subjected to all kinds of single shaming, and there's a lot of reasons why Black...
Let me tell y'all something, and I keep telling you guys over and over and over. The man may be the seed and give it to you, but that's what God wanted you to have. See, when you have children, it's not about just the child. It's about the generation. See, God deals with people in generations. Human beings deal with their child, their grandchild, and if they still living, their great-grandchild. But you don't know who is your first mother and your first father that brought you to existence here. But children had to be born to get to here. So now when you look at a lot of Black people now are billionaires, but they had to have people that had to be born. So the minute when you start saying I forgot. Tony, that's exactly what my mother told me about something that was going on in my marriage. She says, everybody knows there's a child. Yeah, but hey, Buddha, how you doing, darling? So you have to, it goes by generations. So them kids have to be born. So you may think a mother is sitting up there having these babies, but we don't know what's in her gene pool. We don't know what's in her gene pool. She might not never know what's in her gene pool. Her and the father may be long gone. But that gene pool is set there for a reason. Nobody can't shame you because you don't know. You don't know what your forefathers, you had to be born and you had to keep giving birth until whoever it is in your gene pool was able to make it out, like was able to make that money, or able to go to college, or able to be that billionaire, or able to be that entertainer, or or whatever. So we got to get our minds out of, okay, this child. No, it's that child, that child's child, and then that child's child, and so on. God deals with generations. He doesn't deal with the singular. We deal with the singular. So you guys have to remember that. Okay? All right.
women continue to do this and baby mama pathology and its Hotep roots. And we discuss this in my seminars. But the reason Kevin Samuels brings this stuff up isn't to get you to recognize your weaknesses in the dating market and help you get around it. The point is to shame you into believing that you're not good enough for a man who will protect you and provide for you. The point is to let you know that you're not worthy. Despite the fact that single mothers and women over 40 and plus size women get married to good men with resources every single day in this country, and you can too. But for Kevin Samuels to manipulate you into settling for the dusties who watch his show, you have to believe that your life is over because you aren't a skinny 22-year-old virgin. And to secure that state of hopelessness in your mind, Kevin Samuels lays on the next manipulation tactic very thick. This is the fear-mongering stage. If you're not feeling existential dread yet, it's coming because Kevin Samuels and the men who imitate him play on some universal fears like fear of aging, fear of being alone, fear of time passing, fear of abandonment, fear of tribal shame. So if you're operating from this place of irrational fear and low self-worth, do you really think that you're going to make good dating choices? You're not. No one would, because with this messaging, your subconscious mind is telling you that you are an unattractive, undesirable, and unfeminine woman who's aging by the second. And if you don't get picked ASAP, you're going to be a cat lady for sure. So you have to lock it down now with that guy who your conscious mind knows isn't good enough for you, who you know doesn't align with your values. But he gives you attention and you believe that that's all you deserve. And Kevin Samuels said, ma'am, you're average at best. This is all you get. Ladies, that was the goal all along. Kevin Samuels and the men who follow him tell you that what they're saying is only common sense. It's only common sense that if you want a high-value man and a high-value man is looking for a certain type of woman, then the wise thing to do is become the type of woman that they want if you can, or accept a lower-value man if you can't, which is common sense. The problem is that these men aren't high-value men, none of them. They don't add value to your life and have no idea what high-value men are looking for in women. Because then they would tell you that high-value men value intellect and accomplishment in their women over submission. Youth and beauty will always be in high demand. But for a wealthy man, pretty is a dime a dozen. High-value men want their women to be kingmakers. They want women who can give birth to competent men who can take over the family business. In fact, I have a friend who works in Silicon Valley, and he tells me there's a running joke among these men aren't high-value men, none of them. They don't add value to your life and have no idea what high-value men are looking for in women. Because then they would tell you that high-value men value intellect and accomplishment in their women over submission. Youth and beauty will always be in high demand. But for a wealthy man, pretty is a dime a dozen. High-value men want their women to be kingmakers. They want women who can give birth to competent men who can take over the family business. In fact, I have a friend who works in Silicon Valley, and he tells me there's a running joke among the men where they try to see whose wife had to give up the most promising career to start a family.
Damn, $1 billion. Go ahead, a jokey.
Because marrying an educated and accomplished woman,
$3.5 billion. Go ahead, lady. Go. What? He got any brothers? I cross over. $3.5 billion. Oh, okay now.
Is very, very important to men in Silicon Valley. These
$9.3 billion. George Lucas, I know about George Lucas, but I didn't know he had $9.3 billion. You need to share some of that money. What you gonna do with that money? And look at the age of his wife when they got married. Man, I would have froze up all of my eggs, honey. You give him plenty of babies, Mr. Star Wars himself.
Tubians can't even spell silicone. So why would you take your advice from them? They think like small men. What do they even know? Dusty men have...
Woo! I didn't know. Yeah, where you been? He been married to her for a long time. So have Robert De Niro too. Robert De Niro, all his baby mamas are melanated women. Yes. But she didn't show him, but yeah. And that other man too, whose wife is black and he used to be in a wheelchair, the film critic. Now, this lady I do not agree with. I don't agree with her, but we're gonna hear what he got to say. But I don't agree with her at all. It's something about this woman. It's something about her. I'm sorry. But this is what you call the pink pill.
I just would like to understand.
You said you wanted me to describe how black men are showing black women basic respect.
Yes.
We basically, I would say the basic thing that black men do is that we don't. It's not. I don't even, to be honest, I don't really know how to answer that question.
Not point billion.
That's really interesting because
I'm gonna be
you
honest
had
with you.
so much to say, and that's so interesting though, Orange Peel, because you had so much to say in the chat. So now that I'm asking you, this is the first thing that came out of your mouth.
First I didn't like. We just started talking about the respect black men give black women, and you wanted me to say, how do they show respect? Well, just it's
Well,
not.
how do
That's
they?
not.
Tell me how. We're all listening.
Cynthia G, Nyla Vibes.
Wait. Nyla Vibes, Cynthia G. Yeah. Who else?
AI, whatever his name is.
Who?
AI, whatever the guy.
Aya, Eddie.
Aya, yeah.
So what is it that you think specifically I contributed to? I'm curious. What specifically are the things that you've heard me say that have contributed to this? I'm so curious.
Well, the whole aspect of go where you're appreciated, kind of that phrase. I know.
Oh, wait a minute. So you're saying, if I understand you correctly, you're saying that my slogan, "Go where you're celebrated and not tolerated," is facilitating hate against black men. Why would you think that?
Because it's insinuating that black men as a collective are not appreciative of black women.
Do you think that black men as a collective are appreciative of black women?
I do.
Why do you think that?
Well, I would say, and there's no way to really like show that like in data, like, oh, who respects who more. I would say in everyday conversation, and I don't want to get into like what black,
That's interesting. So you're saying in everyday conversation, black men show appreciation and respect for black women. So, okay, you don't have to take my word for it. But again, I love to poll the live chat.
Please.
There's 491 people in here. If you guys believe that black men show you're celebrated, not tolerated, I find that precious.
It's not as clear cut as that. I would say the whole kind of divestment agenda that you promoted.
Oh, okay. So what is the divestment agenda that I promoted, Orange Peel?
That you don't say this. You don't say, hey.
Wait a minute. Wait. You cannot hold me to account for things that don't come out of my mouth. You need to hold me accountable for the things that I actually say out of my mouth. So go ahead.
I will actually. Okay, so
we declare pills.
What you do is
we declare pills. We don't see none of that shit.
You don't come out and say, hey, black women need to leave black men. You say, go where you're appreciated, and you.
We are now named the clear pill. We don't see none of that BS. We don't care about that BS. So we are the clear pills. We don't see none of that. We clear. We don't see none of that stuff. No. But we'll let this conversation carry on. We'll let it carry on. Y'all can give y'all opinions in the chat. The human sphere. Yes. Yes, I knew my undercover was sure enough have something positive to say. He messed up trying to debate her. Mm-hmm. Look at Blanche. Oh, beautiful. Blanche is beautiful. The human sphere. Yes, yes. Even though they say we don't treat them like humans, according to that hyena. Now, when I get to my next one, yes, I call her names. Yes, I call her names. That's because she calls. What did you spray? That smells good. So if she didn't call us names, I wouldn't call her names. She started with me. I didn't start with her. Okay? Okay. When we get to the next video. So I'm going to call her a couple of names. So don't be like, don't say that. I'm going to say it.
You basically don't say it outright. You're very good at kind of saying things.
No, Orange Peel, I say it outright. I say outright, go where you're appreciated, not tolerated.
And that
Okay. Okay.
And hold on. And you tend to have a belief that 500 people in the chat have told you differently, that there is not a lot of edifying conversations about Black women from Black men. So I'm again, tell me again how I am responsible for Cynthia G and all of these other people. If you can give me specifics, because what you've said is that I've said go where you're celebrated. And so what that makes me think is that you seem to have a problem with me saying that, because maybe you know that Black men aren't celebrating Black women like that.
Is that, wait, hold on, before I answer that, are you saying that Black men aren't celebrating Black women?
I'm saying that you're saying that.
I'm not saying that. I'm
also saying that the chat is saying that.
That I'm saying that Black women. Okay.
No, not what you're saying. I asked the chat. If you scroll up, I asked them.
Now, I would just like to say something. Now, you do got Chrislyn. She's back, right? She's back. Do you know? Now, if you go about Black women, right? Why do we gotta pay? Why is there a payment to be down with you guys? See, this is where I don't agree with none of them. Why do we have to pay? Why don't we see you guys in everybody that we see on this YouTube? Maybe 1/10 of them we see in the communities. 90% of them we do. I went to her page, and to join her thing, you gotta pay some good money. What I gotta get paid? Pay her money for what? And we supposed to be a sisterhood, and you doing it from your heart and to build up your sisters. Why I got to pay you? See, people always want you to pay them to build them up, when you're supposed to do that for free. A lot of things you're supposed to do for free. All that the game is to be sold and not told is incorrect. It's incorrect. If somebody come to you to help them, you help them. If somebody's doing terrible, you don't say, well, here's my card, and once you can afford me, then I'll talk to you. That's why I'm not in favor. I just like the conversation that goes on between them, but I do not support that. I don't support anything that you got to pay a lot of money from. Yes, each one teach one. Thank you. That's totally my slogan. Each one teach one, because we are the humanisphere. We are the humanisphere up in here, and we each one and we teach one. Because she just came back, and they always promoting something. They're always trying to sell something. And their chat take care of them at the same time. They're getting paid very good money to keep us separate. But she's not a stream though. Chrislyn is not an extreme. Now the rest of the names that he said, they are the extremes, but they get paid to be the extreme. Like Cynthia and the rest of them, they get paid to be the extreme. You like her? That's why I said she's not the extreme. Who was that lady we just looked at her video? I don't even know. I be going. But my thing is, I don't like her. I don't like her, Tina, only because she wants. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna go to where she charge you a lot of money. I don't like anybody who charges people to be down, just to be down with me. You got to pay me. What? No, I don't like you anymore. I would have liked her, but I don't like her because of that. Because our women are suffering. Our men are suffering. To be down with some of these men groups, you got to pay them money. You got to pay Kevin Samuels a lot of money. You got to pay Chrislyn a lot of money. I don't agree with her truth that marry somebody rich or cross over. No, what she say doesn't bother me. She can be with whomever she chooses to be with. But my problem is to be down with her message, you have to pay her. You have to fill out an application. And then on that, you have to be picked like it's a sorority. She's doing nothing but a sorority. And we have to pay her to be in her sorority. I don't think so. No, absolutely not. And who is getting a coffee today? Coffee is $1. Who is helping out on this coffee fund today? Y'all gotta at least send me some coffee now. That you see how them people getting lovely. Take care of the humanisphere. It's only $1 for a cup, $1.25 for a cup of coffee. Feel free to put in for a cup of coffee. If you cannot put in for a cup of coffee, do not forget to put in for the likes. Hit the like button. Hit the like so you can keep these videos coming and you can keep this in the algorithm. You have to put in the like. Let me see what these likes look like. We need 2 more likes. Can y'all hit me off with 2 likes? We need 2 more. If 2 people in here did not hit the like, I appreciate if 2 people in here hit the like. I appreciate it. Now, let's get back to what we were saying. Let's get back to their conversation.
Do you think that Black men are out here regularly big upping, edifying, and celebrating Black women? Press a 2 if you think that that is true, and a 1 if you do not. And I would like for you to observe
that
all
2
of the
belong
ones.
to
And
us.
so I want you to know. So all of those ones,
That's a 2.
you believe I am responsible for. So I'm just asking. So I'm responsible for all the ones in the chat.
What you're responsible for is what. Okay, so I want to make sure I don't want to say anything wrong here.
She the 2, we the 2.
I believe that Black men show Black women the basic respect. I'm not saying that we're going out in the streets and celebrating Black women or anything like that. I'm saying that Black men show, and as a collective, show Black women just the decency and respect, just passing by, anything like that. I believe that Black men, majority of Black men do that. I believe majority.
Okay. So what is your definition of decency and respect?
My definition of decency and respect is not basically not criticizing. Oh, no, let me not. We do criticize. let me not say that. Let me not. That'd be a slammed up.
No. Let's take a moment right there. You see how you were going to describe what it means to whatever, and you said not criticize, and you realize Black men did criticize, and now you're going to reframe to make a definition where Black men would fit, when instinctively, when you praise something, care for something, you don't go out on the public sphere in that way, criticizing it and dragging it for all to see. I love that just kind of slipped out. Wanted to point it out, but continue. I am loving this conversation. Ignore me.
Me too. This is delicious. So tell me again how Black men show Black women the basic respect. So you said that they don't criticize, but then you took it back. So do you have other examples?
Sorry, you said what? I'm sorry.
You said that they don't criticize, and then you took it back. So now I'm asking you if you have other examples.
Black men show Black women the respect by just, I would say, decency in everyday life, just passing by.
Okay, what does that look like? Tell me what that looks like. What do you mean? Give me an example.
Excuse me, it means killing Black women every 6 hours. This man is delusional. I'm sorry.
Seriously, I would like to know. I would like to know. So basically, orange peel We have the lowest marriage rates, the highest divorce rates. We have the highest out of wedlock rate. We have the highest rates of femicide out of all women in America. Black women are humiliated publicly 20% more than all women of all backgrounds in this country. So I need to know how you feel in general, how Black men are showing basic decency and respect, because I just would like to understand. And I would also then like to understand how what I do is contributing to the problem.
By saying go where you're celebrated.
I'll go. You said you wanted me to describe how Black men are showing Black women basic respect.
Yes. We're still waiting. We've been waiting.
I would say the basic thing that Black men do is that
What?
we don't.
What?
It's not. I don't even like to be honest.
We've been waiting for 10 minutes.
Answer that question.
That's really interesting.
Joe, hold up.
That's so interesting though, Orange Peel, because you had so much to say in the chat. So now that
we've been waiting 10 minutes and 50 seconds. We've been waiting 10 minutes and 50 seconds. Look on the screen for him to say, how do they show us respect? We've been waiting. He now he can't answer it. God. Oh my goodness. I could say how my kings up in here show us respect. They walk in here, they say, hello, queens. How you doing? How's your day? See, Zeke comes up in here with respect. So that's a form of respect. How you doing? How's your day? Greetings, queens. That's showing us respect. At least our kings up in here know how to show respect. Your orange pills, they need to kick him out, right? He need to kick that orange pill way out of here. Y'all know some things make me laugh. I'm sorry. Y'all know some things make me laugh. Oh my goodness. I'm done. I'm done. It's been 10 minutes and 50 seconds. It's been 10 whole minutes and 50 seconds. Oh, Jesus. I am so done. That is terrible. He shouldn't have tried to debate her. He embarrassed. Even if he come up with a spectacular answer. Hey, Dre, how you doing? Good afternoon. Gang, gang, gang. Sugar loving gang. Welcome aboard. But it's been 10 minutes and 50 seconds. See, you cannot make this stuff up. We're not saying we don't pick a side here. As my girl truly said, we are the human fear. We are the human fear. I would like that for my backdrop, my back thing to say human sphere. Truly, if you could put a human sphere and send it to me, so I can put it on the back of the channel. It used to be the love train. That's why you see a train there, because it's the love train. But I would like to have a train there, the love train, and put human sphere right after it. I like that. Okay, he didn't think that she would put the pressure on him like she did, and when she did, he phoned it. I know, that was funny. And yes, we laughed. What's fire, truly? Can you do it? Yeah, I'm gonna give you my I'm gonna give you my IG to send it to. I'm gonna give it to you. Let me see what it is now. But that's why you see a train, because I always call this, that's why the sugar love. So I always say, we used to always like end the show or start the show. People all over the world, join hands for the love train. The love train, because this is the love train. It's where we show love. But when she put human sphere there, I'm like, wow, that just goes so together with the love train. Human sphere. The people who come in here, they got to get all uptight and pick a side and stuff. You know what I'm saying? No, that's my other one. I needed to put it in the one for over here. I don't know how to copy it and all that other stuff. Okay, you can still send it to that one on IG. You can send it to that one. Okay, let's finish hearing this. He got 10 minutes and 50 seconds, going on 11 minutes. It took him almost 11 minutes to say he can't answer that right now.
Asking you, this is the first thing that came
Well,
out
first,
of your mouth?
well, first, I didn't, like, we just started talking about the respect black men give black women. And you wanted me to say, how do they show respect? Well, just, it's
Well,
not,
how do
that's
they?
not really,
Tell me how. We're all listening.
that's not, in my opinion, that's not a real question.
You're not ashamed of yourself. Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
That's
Well,
not a
but
real
so
question.
wait, no, I don't. But see, you made it a statement. You said that black men show black women a basic decency of respect, and I asked you how, and you can't tell me how.
I would say in everyday
And
conversation.
you're saying that me asking the question because you made a statement. How do you believe that is true? So how things work is that if you're going to make a statement, you have to back it up, and I'm asking you to back it up. And you're telling me that that's too difficult of a question to back up your thesis.
It's not difficult. You can't measure respect. I'm just
You
saying.
can't? Really?
Can
How
you measure
come?
respect?
How come you can't?
Well, is measure respect, is that a measurable thing?
No, you said black men respected black women on the public sphere, and that Pink Pill's estimation that they should go where they're celebrated somehow excluded black men. And so now we're asking, do you believe black men celebrate black women? And you are saying there's no way to sort of measure something that you have asserted.
Right. You made an assertion. I'm just asking you to back it up, and you're saying that that's difficult to do. So then, how can you make an assertion based on something that you cannot back up?
You can't show how I can say in every conversation.
Just hang up.
There's no.
We still waiting. Hey, Spice is nice.
Let me help you out here, Orange Peel. Let me help you. Let me help you out.
Yeah, help them out.
Here's how
No, don't help them out. Don't help them
respect
out.
their women.
Okay.
They respect their women by protecting them, by putting laws in place that protect them regardless of whether.
Before you
they,
go on, wait. By protecting them, what Orange Pill? Do you believe black men protect black women?
Absolutely not.
If they're with them, I believe so.
Believe so?
Not as a collective. If they're with them in a relationship, yes. That doesn't always happen.
Do you know the stats?
Can I say something? So wait a minute. Are you saying majority of black men don't protect their women?
No, I'm not saying majority of black men. I'm saying when it comes to the abuse, what community and who are the people who are inflicting abuse?
That's not the majority of black men.
That also contributes to social economic status too, as well.
Wait.
Poor yellow
we can say
orange
our numbers
pill.
are higher. I mean, not to cut you off, we can say our numbers are higher, but all across the board, it's the same as the proximity, and it's always.
Why do the collective of black men lie so much about the stats? See, this is why I don't get. Y'all want to be entitled to everything. Y'all want to be entitled to the women. Y'all want to be entitled to pretty much everything. And when you pay out, y'all end up having the hugest divorce rates I've ever seen. I've never seen so many non-black women, single mothers, until this year. And it's sad and it's frustrating me as a black man. That's why I don't respect Kevin Samuels. That's why I don't respect men like the Orange Pill nurse. That's why I don't respect anyone who talks Kevin Samuel's talking points, including the black women who are the pygmies. The pygmies will be the destroyer of black women.
What? What? What?
That's why I don't support Black Lives Matter because it's only for black men. And look what happened. This is why I said
what?
Sister Nandy is nothing but a pygmy who is up here worshiping the ground that black men walk on when they don't return it back. This right here is the problem with the majority of black men in the manosphere. And you know what? Sooner or later, the mainstream media will drop, and all of a sudden, black men will not be seen as victims no more. Because
I think, and Alexander, I think that thank you for that. I think that's what the problem is, and why we don't get a lot of attention for the issues that black women and girls face is because it would cause a lot of confusion on who the actual victim is. So people in the chat ask for Orange Peel.
He need an inhaler and
they
an
asked
exhaler.
to have another poll. If you believe that
he need an inhaler and an exhale. Inhale, exhale, whew. Inhale, whew. Exhale, whew. He's struggling. there. Woo.
Black men protect black women, put a 1. If you disagree, put a 2.
And while that is happening,
it's 2.
I will say that the Orange Pill was on his way to say, okay, well, maybe there's a lot of abuse in the black community, but the reason why is because of the system, right?
I didn't say that. I said proximity. That also contributes to social economic status too, as well.
Wait.
I didn't say that. I said proximity. That also contributes to social economic status too, as well.
Wait.
Any information that turned out to be so false and fake.
Okay, so here's the thing. Orange Pill. You are right that most violence is based on proximity, but what you are not right about is that the likelihood of that happening is greater with black women. And I can give you a link to the American Association. So you agree?
They don't know about that, Blanche. They don't know about that, Blanche.
You have a problem with me you're saying I'm responsible for the rhetoric, the toxic rhetoric against black men because I say go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. I'm still waiting for you to tell me how I do that.
Well, hold on. Where are black women celebrated as a whole?
I'm not. Did you hear? See, this is the problem that I really have in these conversations, because what I say is go where you're celebrated and not tolerated, and you put a whole clause in there that I didn't say. I didn't say go where you're celebrated as a whole. I said go where you're celebrated. Period.
That is true, Pat. Mm-hmm.
So you say it's the difference between go where majority of black women.
No. There is a difference between go where you're celebrated.
Orange Pill. Poor little Tink Tink.
Yeah, please.
Poor little Tink Tink. Poor little Tink Tink.
I'm going to try to say this as kindly and as gently as possible.
Hold on, let me get my glasses on so I can see it. What is that?
Orange. What do you call yourself? The Orange Peel. I'm going to be as kind and as gentle as possible, but you're not making any sense. You are delusional, and from listening to you, you don't have enough intellect to fit on the clitoris of an ant. Delusional. Ooh. You sound like you're out of your gourd. If Pink Pill is responsible for creating these monsters, who are creating the monsters that are killing black women every 6 hours? Huh? Can we answer this?
Black women.
Who's responsible for we went from
that'd be black women. You just messed up. You just messed up.
I'm speaking now. Let me ask you a question. What is wrong with black women living their best lives? She said choose the best man. She didn't say go only for white men.
Are black women choosing the best man right now?
Not by choosing black men.
You said black women. What is living your best life?
Yeah, no. My goal is that they do get to that point.
Okay.
And here's the thing. I actually give solutions on that. I educate on that. I educate myself so that I can educate other people. I don't just talk a lot of nonsense. I don't just talk shit online. I actually go out and do stuff. So I would say as a whole, that Black women can do a lot better with choosing the best men for the job. But again, I don't think you are gonna like what that's gonna result in looking like.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand. Maybe I'm being a little self-centered here, Orange Peel. Maybe I am. So I apologize to the panel, but I'm curious because I get demonized, and I feel sometimes demonized. It's I don't feel like it's justified. So I just want to ask you again, because poor little
when
tank
you
tank.
said in the chat, you said
Poor little
I am
tank tank.
responsible for much of the rhetoric, and then when I asked you what that rhetoric was, you said
Poor little
that
tank
I
tank.
say go where you're celebrated and not tolerated. And
dare a
I
Black man
asked
like
you
you
what
fellas
was
do.
wrong. I asked you what was wrong with that.
Yep.
And you don't seem to have an answer. And when we talked about respect and protection, you couldn't even justify that. So I again am asking you how I am the problem, sir.
You are the problem because you're very good at insinuating something, and then when you get called out, I never said those specific words. When I say go where you appreciate it, it doesn't mean all Black men. It means, go where you appreciate it. So you leave room for like a lot of stuff. And
Okay, this is very interesting.
Wait.
Okay,
No,
okay, I'll let this happen.
No, I am actually really perplexed at this. Like,
Mm.
how does go where you're celebrated become not Black men? When you're saying Black men celebrate,
Yeah, I mean, he's
Is it-
acting
is
like
it-
I'm
is it
speaking
all
in
that?
code or something. I'm not speaking in code.
You are speaking
Orange
code,
Peel.
please.
Okay,
Orange
so here's what I
Peel,
think
give
you think
up,
I'm speaking
give
in code.
up,
You
give
wanna-
up.
You want to know
Give
how I know
up.
what it is that it is?
You
that
have a
think
good
I'm
day
speaking
too,
code?
my brother. Thank you for
It's
coming in.
because-
Thank you for
it's
coming in,
because
Zeke.
you know
Have a
that Black
blessed
men
day.
aren't celebrating Black women. You said this on the stage. You know that Black men as a whole aren't respecting Black women. And you said that right here on the stage. You know that Black men as a whole are not protecting Black women. And that is your problem because you know there's a lack. And because you know there's a lack, you are projecting something because you know that the men are not doing what they are supposed to do. And so you're attributing all of these other things to what I am saying because you know. And what your problem is with me and what many of the Black men online have problems with me is that you don't want Black women getting no ideas. Just like they didn't want the slaves to learn how to read. You don't want Black women getting no ideas. Because and that is really what it is. This is your problem, sir. It's not ours. Wait, somebody said, did you see her picture with Ted Cruz? You damn right. I took a picture with Ted Cruz and what? I took a picture with Senator Ted Cruz and I told him that Black women are facing issues in this country that the Democratic Party and the liberals are not addressing.
Wow.
And I want to have these conversations. That's what I did. And what?
And why?
I also had
That is absolutely wrong. That is absolutely wrong.
Okay, well, that's your opinion, but
Violence Against Women Act? Are you kidding
wait,
me?
guys, I don't apologize for speaking to anybody. Do you?
Oh, lady, please. The problem is that it's hard to protect. It's hard for the Black man to protect the Black woman because 8 times out of 10, they are the abusers. So in order for them to protect Black women, they have to go against Black men. So that's just what it is what it is. You understand what I'm saying? 8 times out of 10 is coming from another Black man. So in order for them to truly protect us, they have to go against Black men. So we might as well just take that out of the vocabulary. We might as well stop saying Black men don't protect Black women. We need to stop saying that because the Black man is not going to go against the Black man. How many times a Black man sat there and watched the man beat the heck out of a female, but that's their homeboy, but he did nothing. He did absolutely nothing. How many times a Black man have said to his homeboy, oh, I had to beat that HA. And he didn't say, yo, man, I can't deal with that. Now, I ain't with that. We can't be friends no more. So we might as well, God, Pat, please take that off. Please take that off, Pat. I am already shadow banned. I am already shadow banned. Please take that off, that comment. I believe you, but we got to be very vague here. Very vague, please. Thank you so much. I'm using this mic and all it does is typos. So, you know, if it's, I know what y'all getting, but sometimes y'all gotta remember, y'all saw this morning, y'all saw what happened, right? It's okay. Y'all just gotta be careful. Y'all just have to be careful. Yeah, but we gotta stop talking like that lady who was on the R train full of people and nobody helped. Exactly. It's all a mess up. It's all a mess up, but at the same time, it's difficult to put your life in danger. And she goes back. No, it doesn't matter if she goes back. The point is that he has backing from his friends. These are his friends. I'm not talking about strangers, unless he's going to shoot up. I mean, oh God, got me saying, unless he's going to take out all of his friends just to beat up a girl, I don't think he's that crazy. He don't scare all of his friends. Even if he's a dominant person, he don't scare all of his friends. He may scare some of them. He don't scare them all. Or if people start backing away from him because of his behavior, he would get the message. No, and you know they're not going to call Popo. But that's only some incidences. It's a lot of things that go down. Just like deadbeat dads. These men know their homies is deadbeats. You know how they know their homeboys are deadbeat? Because they are deadbeat too. They hanging together. If you and the next guy is outside all day long, running from club to club, from women to women, they don't have to discuss being the deadbeat dad. They both know they deadbeat dads. So how are they going to say, yo, hey, you never barely hear, I got to spend time with my kids. You're here that once in the blue moon. Like the kids, you got to wait till they pick their name out of a hat and hopefully their name come up. Kids time. Now you got to say, how many kids do I got? Then you have to say, how many baby mamas do I got? Can I get them all together? Like they created a big mess here. So we might just, I'm not even waiting for no black man to, I'm just going to live my life. Women, just live your life. Yeah, I know you mean strangers. But they don't check them truly. No, they do not get checked. They do not get checked. And there is no fathers and no uncles around to go up in that man's ass. Like there's no more men scared to hurt nobody's daughter. That's how bad it's gotten. Men are no longer scared to hurt a man's daughter because they know no man is going to come out to save them. Not even their own dad. Not even their own father would save them. Their father would go, well, I told her. Back in the days, men used to be scared to touch female because her father, brothers, and uncles will be coming. Now, none of the above. That woman is out there on her own. So it's not about a man risking his life protecting her. He didn't even bother to hit her because he knew he had to deal with her father. And don't say nothing that will not go against their friends when it comes down to the black male. But if a woman doing something wrong, another woman they would tell her, yeah, that is true, Tina. So we need to get out of that notion that why black men don't protect women. No, they are 80% of them are our abusers. And some of them become your sons. Sometimes your sons become your abuser. Like a lot of dusties become abusers to their mothers. A lot of dusties sit back and wait for mommy's money. They ain't going out there to look for their dad and beat up their dad and get their money, but they abuse a lot of a lot of elderly women. And these are elderly women get abused by their sons, their dusty sons. But who talks about that? Who talks about that? Well, I didn't mean to say that word, YouTube, but damn, we don't know how to speak. We don't know how to speak YouTube language. People talk about women all the time, but who speaks for the elderly and who speaks for the babies? We don't speak upon children getting violated enough. We don't speak upon the elderly getting, and these are by men. Now, so if we're going to tell it, then we got to tell it all. If we're going to tell it, then we got to tell it all. We just can't just keep making it seem like things. No, it is what it is. We've been protecting our damn self, our darn self, and we're going to continue to protect our darn self. That's just what we have to do. If sometimes, we have to be by ourselves, then that's how it shall be. That's how it should be. And remember, I said children. That goes for boys and girls. The children.
You understand that the way corporations work in this country, they give money and they go to both parties. They play both sides at the middle. Y'all are so slow. Put down the crayons and put up the mechanical pencils. You don't see, you guys are so myopic. I'm not disqualifying anybody. When I say best man for the job, that means politics as well. So I'm in both of these parties, and I'm doing what the corporations do. And what they do is they play both sides against the middle. But some of y'all are so simple and so unintelligent and not thinking that you don't understand that this is about getting what we want.
They don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the work, and because
I'm sitting up here meeting with senators and congressmen.
Are doing the work.
What has Joe Biden said about Black femicide? Can somebody tell me?
You know the Violence Against Women Act. You know that?
Exactly.
No, I am asking the question.
Said the Violence Against Women Act. You know that
this is not a political discourse, right? The politics, we can sit here, and I think one of the problem is that there is this belief. Let me just say, well, I'm not going to say my stance. Y'all know how I stand. I drag everyone from every party, and I don't really care. The problem is that there are people who actually believe any politician care about on the highest level, care about people.
Exactly.
There needs to be political movements.
Yes.
You need to figure out a way to get them to believe what you believe, and it's not going to just be because they love you. It is why so many Democrats, by the way, I drive Ted Cruz every day, all day, so I don't really care. But
yeah, I'm not a fan. Listen, I'm not a fan of Ted Cruz, but what I do understand is that Ted Cruz has a lot of connections. And Ted Cruz can possibly introduce me to a lot of
Black people.
And here's the thing: people are saying that I should have been quiet about it. Why? No, I want people to know.
I thought in recent history was Donald Trump, right? Didn't like the guy.
Pete Johnson. Then she went to so she brought up party lines. She's been bringing up party lines about Democrats, what they ain't doing. So she brings up, let me.
Are they on? We can ignore all of that. I don't care. I think both political parties are trash. The people involved in them are trash, and we.
Without trying to bring in pink pill.
Man, what are you talking about? You said, what do you want? What's the question?
Can I ask the question in a different way?
What do you want?
What do you want us to do? What do you want?
No, can I ask a question? We use this in therapy, and it's called a solution. It's called the miracle question, and it helps people reframe. If Black men woke up, you went to sleep, and you woke up, and all of your problems were fixed, what would it look like? She's asking to give us concrete behavioral examples of what it would look like if all of your problems went away. That is her question. So can you answer that?
That was the question.
Well, answer that.
Orange Pill don't know what color he is. Leave the Orange Pill alone now. I start to feel sorry for the man. Even though the Orange Pill talk a lot of smack, I've never even heard of the Orange Pill. He even got the capsule in the middle, so it's driving me crazy. Orange Pill, why is the capsule not in the middle? Why you got it to the side? You don't even know how to take a good picture, Orange Pill. Poor little Tink Tink. Poor little Tink Tink. He don't even know how to put the pill in the middle and fix the cap. That's how messed up the Orange Pill is. That's because he off to the side. He's the Orange Pill. So I can't take him no more. I can't. They say he was talking a lot of smack. But at the point, I feel, as a woman, we can't turn off feeling sorry for people. But I feel sorry for him right now. They eating him up, but they eating his ass up. They eating his butt up right now, honey. Now we're going to move on to my best friend. To my best friend, Aunt. He's a whole laxative. He's a whole laxative. Oh my God. He is fuller. 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 Fuller, fuller, fuller. All right. So we're gonna let him live. 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 We might be seeing him again. I don't know, but I gotta get to my best friend. This chick says we need to get rid of Lizzo. Like, what is Lizzo? Why is Lizzo bothering you so much that we need to get rid of Lizzo? This is what she say. She needs to be canceled. Why? Now, she says, Lizzo has made it clear time and time again that she won't stand for anyone's negativity when it comes to her body. So when people on the internet decide to critique the sparkly see-through dress she supported at Cardi B's birthday party earlier this week, the singer responded with a strong message. Why is it bothering her anything about Liz? I like to know. But she let her tell it.
Dress. What else is new? Lizzo has made it clear time and time again that she won't stand for anyone's negativity when it comes. It's funny to me that people are upset that I'm wearing a see-through outfit or that I'm twerking in a see-through outfit. She said, per entertainment, be worried about me. That permeates online culture. I don't give a F if people are mean to me. She explained, I'm rich and I'm beautiful and I have a beautiful family. I'm good. I have friends who love me. I'm not worried about y'all. I do this because y'all continuously disrespect human beings like it's a sport. This is what she had on. I mean, just look at this.
Look at it.
Travesty.
Oh, wow.
Lizzo has responded to negative comments in the past and continues to emphasize that there's no place for cruelty. I mean, just look at this. Travis.
I don't know. It's a bikini on there somewhere. It's a bikini under that dress somewhere, but well, Rihanna did it, but because she big, she can't do it. I don't think we should cancel her. I see a bikini. It's just hiding, but hey, some people pay for that body. I don't know. I wouldn't wear it, but I'm not gonna cancel her because she wear it. Guys, tell me how y'all feel about this dress that Lizzo wear. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Where are you guys at? Where are you at? He can't get one word in. Tell me how y'all feel about that dress. It's a thin line between confidence and attention seeking. One says, if Spice is nice, said, Spice is nice, said, if she likes it, it's cool for the party, but not the mall, so it's appropriate. Yeah, she's at Cardi B's birthday party. Let me just remind y'all, that's Cardi's B birthday party. And she does have a bikini on. You just can't find it. But my thing is do y'all feel that because you are overweight, you cannot do what skinny girls do? Do you think that there is a stigma between smaller women or big women, or some women just can't do what other women can do? Like me, I think she should have put a bra. No, she got panties on. She got panties on. You just can't find them underneath. And like Rihanna wore at the same outfit, but she put a bra. Well, at least her chest is up. Shoot. All right, I'm glad I got. It's nice color, but not bad. Remember, she's at Cardi B's party. They're acting crazy there. Okay, this is a party. Just keep in content where she's at. Where's she at? Now let's go. And she need to stop responding. But it's not enough for me to say cancel her. Because if she was outside and she has a bathing suit on under this, she can't hide all of that body. And so she's not supposed to go to the pool. She's not supposed to go to the beach. She's not supposed to go swimming. I mean, like, when did y'all start putting on limitations? Or should big boned women put their own limits? Like certain things I'm just not going to do. I don't know. I'm asking you guys. I don't know. Because I don't believe in knocking the next person, especially if you're at a place where that is appropriate. Where she's at, that's appropriate. If she was someplace and it wasn't appropriate, that's different. Where she's at, it's appropriate. Her look around and bigger, she might be flaunting her new body. Oh, her look rounder and bigger. So she might be flaunt. Oh, I don't even know. But my thing is, if she's at an appropriate place, I wouldn't want it for myself, but no one can truly be canceled because there's always someone that will support them. God is the only one to cancel you, really. Yeah. But like I said, she's at an appropriate place for it. She's at an appropriate place for that dress. They have to keep that in mind. What do you think they wearing at Cardi B's party? We're going to find some pictures and what people wore at Cardi B's party before we get to judging. Before we get to judging, I'm not looking for it. Y'all look for it. But go ahead.
See. Lizzo has responded to negative comments in the past and continues to emphasize that there's no type E. She concluded that it's none of your effing business. But I want to say to younger Black women and just to Black
students with ADHD.
See this hyena, right?
Be canceled for her own good. First of all, there are many lies told in that article about how she don't care about this and don't care about that, and she's beautiful and she knows this and blah, 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 blah. Not by the way you cry online about not having friends, about not being able to come out of your job to get anything else done, and you know, you got a couple people that's your friends, but you haven't spoken to them and all this other type of stuff. So the cap is real. I call it toxic positivity. This woman is promoting a very toxic thing that Black women do not need. First of all, let's get to the body type. You're not gonna make people accept very large women as attractive women. And big girls out there, you need to understand that. It's one thing. First of all, let me address this body positivity foolishness. Let's address that. First of all, body positivity does not mean that whatever your body is, you gotta love it, and you gotta love it to the point you're not gonna change it. Okay? Wanting to change how you look for your body because you're too big isn't a hatred of yourself. You can like yourself, you can love yourself and not like the way that you look. And it's perfectly okay if you are overweight and you're cool with who you are, but you don't like the overweightness. Don't let these goofballs like Lizzo and like these other people that's coming out here with this quote unquote body positivity mess try to make you feel like you doing something wrong if you want to go on a weight loss journey. You know what I'm saying? You should love your body. These are the same ones that's rushing to go get a BBL at your local Quality Inn. Okay, so if we're gonna be proud of everything, be proud of your flat booty, sis. Be proud of that too. You know what I'm saying? Little booties matter. Okay? So we're not doing that. That's not what body positivity means. That is just an agenda that's being pushed to what I believe is to keep Black women unhealthy. There are other women who are overweight, but I'm not concerned with them. Black women are overweight at an alarming percentage of us. And I think that body positivity push is something that keeps Black women content with being overweight, with being obese in many cases, with having underlying health issues that come from obesity, including diabetes or pre-diabetes and all of these other ailments that actually stem from overweightness. Okay? Everything has a weight limit. All right? Lions and tigers and other animals have a healthy range of weight. If they're below that too much, then they are underweight and probably malnutrition. If they are too much over that average weight, then they are not healthy then either, because it's too much weight for them to handle and for them to be healthy with. And human beings are no different. We have a weight class. We have weight limitations. And when you get over and above those weight limitations for your height, for your gender, for your muscles, and all this other type of stuff, that means you've gone into an unhealthy realm. You're no longer healthy. Okay? If you're a woman and you're 5'4", it's not healthy for you to be 215. I don't care how big your booty is, how, you know what I'm saying, flat your stomach is because you went and got a BBL. I don't care how thick they talking about you are. I don't care what your body shape is. If you're 5'4" and 215, you're too big. And that is what it is. And this is how they trick us in our biology. We cannot allow these different narratives to come out to trick us about what our biology really is. We know when we too big. You got all these commercials with all of these, you know what I'm saying, black women or whatever, these clothing commercials, and they're obese. They not 20 pounds or 15 pounds. You know what I'm saying? You can get that off in a month or two, a little exercise, a little discipline in what you eat, and you can get that worked off. No. I'm talking about you gotta have clothes that's a 5X and 6X and 7X. If you gotta get clothing that's going into 5, 6, 7X's, then you are too big. It's not the clothes that need to get bigger, it's you that needs to get smaller. And they trying to trick us into thinking that this has something to do with meeting some abstract standard of beauty, and it does not. This has to do with meeting a standard of health.
First of all, you read an article. She said she always exercise and eat healthy, but people don't believe her. First of all, we don't know if she's on medication. We don't know if she has thyroid problems. See, some things I don't do for content unless I would say, well, I don't know if she has thyroid problems. I don't know if she take medication. I don't know if she's on steroids or something. Like some people, they're not just big because they eat a lot of junk food. Sometimes it's things, some medications make you eat. We don't know. We don't know if her getting big is saving her life. And she needs to repair that mug. I looked at the picture they had on Jamaican dancehall outfits. So if anybody been to a Jamaican party, they would know what they, oh, baby, please. Oh, please, I know two more, all too well. Yes, darling. Oh, no, hyena. But I want to get to her next subject we didn't cover last time. Because I don't think she should be canceled. You need to be canceled before she get canceled. At least people like her. Now, this is why Black women never break generational curses. See, I'm sorry. Black women alone cannot break generational curses. It has to be broken by the male and the female. Then the curse is still there. If Black women cannot break it, that's why the curse is not broken. Men and women need to break the curses, or the men and women need to stop the behavior.
Nothing wrong with oatmeal, but when you're on a keto, you can't. The young girl isn't saying much in this video. She is showing
anyone who knows me knows I am a gym rat, but I was not able to go to the gym. So I was like, how can I make someone work for me?
On her face, right? Which indicates that her and her mother physically got into it. Okay? And you can hear the mother going off in the background. You're gonna get out because you're disrespectful, you're disobedient, those sorts of things. And I want you out. Now that girl couldn't have been no more, maybe 14 or 15 years old. 16 might have been pushing it.
And what?
16 might have been pushing it. She real young in her face.
What? That's her face, but you don't know her age.
Okay.
Put your hands on me, my child. You got to go.
Now,
period.
Let's come at this from a little bit of a different angle, because usually I would go in about how ridiculous this mother is. But what we need to look at instead of that, or aside from that, we need to actually look at this young lady's lack of development. See, she's not being taught. She's not being directed. She's not being prepared. She is not being given the tools that she needs to become a well-rounded, right-thinking, feminine young woman. She is being denied every single thing, every single tool that is going to help her development. And see, these are the things that are going on in these non-man-led households where there's no leadership, there's no system, order, and structure, and it breeds these masculine, hard young women, young Black women, and then spit out into the world to just wing it and to just try to figure out how she's going to make it in a world where the first stage of the person that's supposed to prepare her didn't do that. So now she has to enter into young womanhood. She has to try to enter into womanhood without these tools. See, I want to dispel a quick myth. Hold on for 1 second. 1 second. These young Black girls, when you meet her and she's 20, she's 19, she's 22, and she has this masculine exterior. She doesn't really know how to be a woman. She doesn't really know how to get into her feminine energy. She doesn't really understand some of the stuff you telling her. She doesn't know how to take SOS from a man. She doesn't know how to take leadership from a man. See, when you meet this young woman, you have to understand she's coming from an environment that is not teaching her that. And then at 15 or 16, she's being
I don't think you're ready to take leadership from a man. That's why you can use your marriage, but you don't want, as from what I'm seeing is, you talk a good one. You don't want leadership from a man either, because you know for a fact that you is doing good on your own, right? You doing good on your own. Why do you need leadership? You're doing good on your own. Why do you need leadership? You could roll with anybody you want to roll with. You could go on all these different platforms. You could preach and teach. You could do multiple things. But if you're married, things change. Why didn't you get married again? What's taking you so long to get married again? Because you kind of like it being single, don't you? That single life, you like it. So as you preach, don't think that we don't see through you. Don't think that we don't see through you. Come out, why we can't break generational curses. Oh. You joined the single club and you're talking smack. I don't know how that go. And you could have been married a long time ago. Again, after he passed. You could have been married again. Because you should not know leadership because your man is transcended. So you should need leadership in your life right now. You should have got married immediately. Because you lack all these things that you tell us that we lack. So why are you even talking to people if you lack this stuff? You need a husband just to talk to us. How about that?
Turned out into the world. Okay? To meet up with people, and when she get a little bit older, she's running into men, and these men are trying to give her SOS, and she don't know how to receive that. See, it's not always about her being hard-headed. It's not always about her hating black men. This is not always the case, especially in the beginning. This is more about her lack of training. See, all of this drama that this young girl is going through is a complete distraction from everything that she actually supposed to be learning in her household. It's a complete distraction. She's not getting anything that is going to be useful to her later on in her life, not even a couple of years later on down in her life. Everything that she's going through counts as a detriment because it takes something from her. It takes something from her. And the reason why I'm talking about generational curses is because the mother, while she's doing this, a lot of times she don't know no better. She's doing to her daughter what was done to her when she was young. You understand that?
No.
This is where the generational curse comes in at. She's doing to that girl what her mama did to her. See, her mama was able to visit upon her whatever kind of treatment, whatever type of behavior that she was having with her daughter, and her daughter understood, or she understood that she was supposed to respect and obey her mother under every circumstance and under every situation. And now that she has daughters, and you can hear the other child in the background, now that she has daughters, she expects the same. She expects the same kind of treatment from her daughter, that I can do whatever I want to do to you in this household, and your job as my child is to do what I tell you, when I tell you, how I tell you. Don't give me no lip, don't give me no back talk, don't give me what I would consider to be disrespect, or else I'm gonna turn you out to the wolves. Because who's to say that her mother didn't turn her out into the wolves? This is how a lot of times you got these real young mothers, because they mother did the worst thing that they could possibly do to a young girl, and that's give her even less cover than what she had before. At minimum, she had the cover of being in the household, at minimum with her mother, even if there was no father or a steady male presence there. Now you're going to take that little bit of cover away from her and just put her out there. So now what is it left for her to learn? The only thing left for her to learn is how to make it on whatever she can make it on. Because at 15, 16, 17, you don't have a skill set that.
Why don't you tell her at 15 and 16 and 17, why you don't tell her to find her daddy? Why you don't tell her to seek out her grandmother, her grandfather, somebody on the father's side, to let her know that either they want to be bothered or they don't want to be bothered. She got a sibling. I'm quite sure these men got plenty of kids. Come on. Oh, where's my thing at? I'm going to whack the mess out you. Bastard. Ooh, come back over here. Oh, that's this fly that keep buzzing in my ear. Part in my Moorish. Just prove two wrongs don't make it right. Look at Crimson Parents, for example. Exactly. She make it seem like, you know, even in her bio, I'm gonna let y'all see her bio. Okay? And I'm like, the nerve of her. She could never come live with me. But let's check out her bio. Now, this is her bio. Now, she got, my name is Kendra, my government name, but I'm also known around the Black manosphere as DJ Fish Grease. Who wants to be called DJ Fish Grease? I'm just saying, before we even finish with this bio, who wants to be known as DJ Fish Grease? I don't care how good I cook. You ain't calling me no damn fish grease. No, that it don't sound right. And no, it's not funny. And I don't like you that much or nobody that much to call me no damn fish grease. I know that's where all the seasoning is at, but that's still fish seasoning. You can't mix other stuff. That's what it says. I don't know if you guys can read it, but I cannot make it bigger. But I'm going to read it for you guys. But try to do your best to read it. She's known as DJ Fish Grease. Now listen. That's because I cook. I am talking deep fry. Now, I'm talking about deep fry, the foolishness that goes on in our community. I'm really not a mean person. I just have a low tolerance for people, groups, or institutions that play games with the lives of people I love, like many of you. I fight the clutches of feminism all my life. All my life I had to fight. That's me. That's not her. All my life I had to fight. I had to fight. Yes, I did. All her life she had to fight. Like many of you, I fought in the clutches. All my life I had to fight, and I've happily supported. And I happily supported red pill men throughout my lifetime. No, you have not. 20 years of your life, you was on your mama's time. When you got your husband, that's when you was on the red pill time. Throughout my father, my husband, son, family, and friends. Now, you notice she said husband, son, family members, and friends. Now, listen, I consider myself a red pill woman since birth. I was in a 20-year marriage before my husband passed away. He and I raised 2 children together. I have no biological kids. I raised my brother and sister practically from birth. So why would you even include your father unless you and your siblings do not have the same father? I belong to a local Baptist church, but converted to Islam at the age of 18. So I have connections and strong knowledge of both. Now listen to this. Listen to this. I currently live in Chicago with not the good part, unfortunately. Let me say that again. I currently live in Chicago with family, not the good part, unfortunately. Well, tell them Red Mansfield people, they have value, right? Shouldn't they get you a house or something? You see how ungrateful people is? Do you see how ungrateful people is? She's ungrateful. Very ungrateful. Very, very ungrateful. I currently live in Chicago, not the good part, unfortunately. Go Bears. Okay, this is a place where I invite you to travel with me on a feminine journey. Get ready to talk, laugh, scream as we blah, blah, blah. Now, that's her bio, right? Now, she said they don't have experience, and she said they're young enough to have experience. Which one is it? I don't know. Now, her family took her back, and she's not happy. She said the unfortunate part. Then she said, my son, but you have no biological kids. Then you say, I raised my siblings. Okay, what happened to their father? I know all that's your mother's fault, right? All of that is your mother's fault. So you decided to step in. You didn't track down none of their daddies to make them do nothing. You did all of this with no income. You took care of 3 people with no income. Then you met your husband, and 4 years after you met him, he had ESRD, end-stage renal disease. That means his kidneys are gone. That means he's on dialysis, right? So he has to get, depending on, just in case people didn't know what ESRD means. I mean, end-stage renal disease, right? So he's on dialysis maybe 3 to 4 times a week. Who's there with him? Her. Then she got, I guess, his son that he had before her. I don't know. Then she got her 2 siblings. Well, she leaves out. Did they live with her? They didn't live with her. So now she's living off this man's money, which would be SSI or SSD, whichever one he qualifies for. She has no children, so she's not getting no checks for the children. So he's getting a check, and then now she's getting a check. So at this point, he's not a high value man. Then she just said yesterday how she stuck by her man. What you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do. Exactly, Tina. See, this is where the masks come off. This is where the masks come off. And she think we the ones don't know better. She think we the ones that don't know better, but we know better. Right? So when a man, so at any point in time, she was able to do her because he was sick. 3 days out the week, 3 to 4 days out the week, she can still have kids now. She's in her early 40s. So 3 days out the week, he's at dialysis. She don't have no kids to take care of. They're not her kids. She never stated that they lived with her. She took care of them. So at the age of 20, how old was her siblings? Was they babies? Not babies? She never brought that up neither. So is the husband going to dialysis by himself while she's taking care of her siblings which is not his kids. Like a lot of things that she say, she did not live that life. She did not live that life. She doesn't know how it feels to be a biological mother, to really know what her mother been through. Her husband, she never had a chance to know the real ups and downs with the man that's able to be out there and to do other things because he was sickly. Everything she is preaching to us, she did not live. She didn't live it. But one thing she did live was making choices. She had to make a choice. It was free will, free spoken. She, yeah, and the man get to do all of this, and the man do that. Hey, Jessica, how you doing, baby? And the man do this, and then the man do that, but your man was sickly. How much did your man do? And if he did all that, then he should have, if his job say he couldn't work, what else was he doing? Jessica, you got to watch the playback, baby. I wish you could, because that'd have been a nice combo for you, but I still thank you for passing through. Don't forget to hit that like. Thank you. I appreciate that. So we hear a lot that she's saying, but her life doesn't add up to what she's saying. And then if she needs direction so much, why haven't she remarried? Because you don't have the qualifications to talk to me because you're not married. So I don't need for you to talk about marriage. I should be able to talk free will the same way you talk free will, because you're not married and neither are them. You just as single as the rest of us. Why are you always talking about a husband? You ain't married again. How did you find your way? How did you find your way without a husband? How did you find a way to maintain without a husband? How did you put in your bio that you don't want to live with your family in Chicago after they let you come back in? They're not that bad, right? They're not that bad. I'm quite sure that she needs to, I'm quite sure she got her own by now. I'm quite sure she has her own. But how about go tell them to go find ain't no good daddies? Go find them no good dusties. Go find them dusties.
That's not sex that's gonna allow you to make it on your own. You don't have that skill set. You can't make it on your own. So what do you learn how to do? Because if your mama turn you out into the streets, all you got left to learn is street stuff. And it ain't nothing in the streets. Thank you, Eugene Roberts. There ain't nothing in the streets but a bunch of foolishness. All the foolishness that I talk about on this channel, that's what's in the street. She gonna learn the lost value system. She gonna learn that she don't want to be put out nowhere else. So she's going to figure out how to get her some money so she can pay next time for wherever she's staying at, so nobody had a power to put her out. You understand that? Because the way that was being talked about in that video, that wasn't the first time she had done that to that girl, because that girl was like, yeah, I got a face mask. She was used to her mother's antics. She was used to her mama telling her to get out. She might have a cousin or auntie or something like that house she could go to or something like that, crash for a couple of days until her mama calmed down, and then she'll be able to come back. You understand what I'm saying? For the worst case scenarios, these girls don't have no cousin house or nothing like that they can go crash at. So they just gotta be out there.
And they hit their mama, they wanted to be out there. Anytime you hit your mother, you belong to the streets. Anytime you, what is your point, lady? Anytime you hit your mama, you belong to the streets. I just finished up a live, so I missed it. Sounds like an interesting topic. Yeah, no, we about almost finished now. We about almost finished. Well, we'll be doing another one later. But anytime you disrespect your mama is one thing. But anytime you hit your mama, you belong to the streets. Because I need for you to hit them same people out there the way you hit your mama. It don't go like that. Good mama, bad mama, you don't put your hands on her. If she's a bad mama, you can walk out the door. You'll have better luck as a human being when you just walk out the door. But once you decide to put your hands on her, you just gave yourself bad luck. I have to go now. I have some place to be. Bye. Okay, thank you. See you later. All right, no problem. We almost finished with this anyway. So again, my friend, again, you have to ask yourself, do I leave, walk out the door with my head up high, or do I hit this woman? Do I hit this woman? Yeah, then you belong in the streets. You for them streets. Them locks supposed to be changed. No, you don't want you. Yeah, your kid didn't believe you when you told the kid, whether female or male, how them streets are. They're gonna learn today. They're gonna learn today. When you out there with nothing, and then for them young girls, now you gotta sell your personal self, or the men out there that got to sell things that's illegal just to eat, because you gotta eat. Nobody's going to be feeding you in clothing. Nobody's going to do what mama did. I don't care if mama didn't even do you right. At least you got you something. Them people out there in the street ain't giving you nothing. You're going to have to do some strange things for that change. You have to do some strange things, baby.
See, these are the things that nobody likes to talk about, what's going on in these single mother-led households. We just get the first narrative. Oh, well, it's hard. And, I'm doing it all by myself and I'm raising good kids. But what you don't understand that's going on is the generational curses that are being passed down. You understand what I'm saying?
No.
These young girls, thank you, D-Nice. These young girls are not learning how to be young women. They're not learning it in the first place. This is why you're getting women who are in their 30s. When you watch, I'm going to just bring him up for a minute. When you watch Kevin Samuels and you see a woman in her early 30s, and it seemed like the stuff that he telling her that's ABC to everybody else is a shock to her. And I'm talking about the ones that's genuinely shocked. Like, I didn't know that information type shocked. They are not, that's not cap for all of them. It's a lot of times these women genuinely be out of the loop. They mama just never taught them that. You got men in this space that talk about, well, the women that I've been with, or some of the women I've been with years ago, didn't know how to really keep their hygiene up. This is something that your mama teach you. As a young girl, your mama teach you about your period. Your mama teach you about how to clean yourself, make sure you ain't smelling, and make sure, and all this kind of stuff, how to keep your female hygiene together, how to keep your stuff together, how to wash, how to wipe, and all this type of stuff. This is the job of your mother. But if every time you turn around, your mama arguing with you, fighting with you, and putting you out the house, when do you have time to learn any of this stuff?
Does that make any sense? Did you put the kid out between 9 and 12? Did you put the kid out between 9 years and 12 years old? She said, you can't teach your kids this because you keep putting them out. So we're speaking upon a woman meant that between 9 and 12. Did you put your kid out by the age of 9 to 12 is the question. So that's an absolute. So I believe she did teach her child that. At that point, the child is still a child. Maybe 15, 16, and 17 is when they start smelling themselves. She always got to take stuff back to the extremes. She always talking about stuff that do not exist. Any woman that throws her child out from 9, 10, 11, and 12 should go straight to jail. Straight to jail. She is the most exaggerating woman I've ever seen, ever. Ever. She just exaggerates. Something is seriously wrong with her. You're not teaching them about their mental state. How you going to do that if you constantly throwing them out? Who throws their kid out at that age? She threw you out? No, Blanche. I'm saying. She said she threw, you get your mints between 9 and 12. She said you throw the kid out. So if any kid, like I said, if any mother threw their kid out between 9 years of age, threw them out, just kicked them out the house, between 9 years of age and 12 years of age, they need to go to jail. They need to go to jail. Some kids, yeah, trial and error, but I don't know about. Yeah, so exactly. So if that did happen, then you should need to go to jail and your older cousin take you picked up. That's a blessing. But if like I said from the get-go, if mama did that between 9 and 12, then mama needs to go to jail, and mama don't need her kids. Mama do not need her kids from 9 to 12. Now, 15, 16, 17, like I said, that's when the kids start picking up. They start, well, some at 14, they start smelling their piss. Yeah, but from 9 to 12, when you're first getting your mints, depends on some people, some kids get it at 9, some get it at 10, some get it at 11, some get it at 12. From 9 to 12, if anything that child does, now that is definitely on the parent, then you need to go to jail. She definitely needed to. No, but she exaggerates a lot. She exaggerates a heck of a lot. She exaggerates. That's what she does. Remember, Blanche, she's the same person that said women should be 18 years old with 3 kids. She said they should have kids by 13 years old. I do not remember that video to pull up that part. People will have to go find that for themselves. So what 13-year-old, what 2 13-year-olds is going to have a baby? I'll wait. That can take care of it on their own. I'll wait. Oh, see, you remember. See, she be exaggerating. Or she's a groomer. She's a groomer. She grooms. She grooms people. That's what she do. But we almost finished with this.
But it only supports women in as much as she's gonna keep up the foolishness and the generational curses and pass it down. See, any woman that don't subscribe to doing that actually never benefits from the gynocracy. Can I get a witness from the chat room?
No, hell no.
Because if you are a woman See, I don't care if you are female. It's actually especially worse when you are a woman that don't do it because you're supposed to be standing in solidarity with the sisterhood of the traveling back feet. Thank you, Harlem Street Tales. You supposed to be, every black woman is supposed to be standing in solidarity with the sisterhood of the traveling back feet.
I guess that mean you too.
Thank you, Albert Tyson.
Well, how many men be giving her money? Shit.
I'm trying to live. And she become bitter because she hates these circumstances. This is why you will hear a lot of times, even a woman that get older and become part of the gynocracy got mommy issues. We're going to talk about that.
No, absolutely not. They got parent issues. Stop saying mommy issues or daddy issues. They got parent issues. They got 2 parent issues. The issue is not the mother, the issue is not the father. The issue are the parents. Where are both of the parents? No, we can't say that. No. The absentee father plays a lot in them issues. That's why I always tell young people all the time, anytime you lay with a woman, that's going to be potentially your child's mother. Anytime I tell them young ladies, anytime you lay with the man, that's going to potentially be pornography. Well, listen, ain't nothing wrong with that. She may think something wrong with it, but it's nothing but women in power. That's all that means. And she don't believe in women in power. But anyway, it's any woman, any man you lay with is potentially your baby's father. So if you guys are not old enough to take care of kids, and if you guys don't even like each other, it's just that you started rubbing on each other, then you need to use a bag. And that pull-out game is not it doesn't work like that. Pull-out game doesn't work. So that's because 2 adults or 2 children wanted to be adults and they brought a child in this world. Mama's bitter, daddy's gone, and mama's bitter. Because that responsibility is all on her. Yeah, that'll F a woman mind up. I'm not even gonna lie. I've seen some terrible mothers. Terrible mothers. And we've seen that all up and down Big O streets. We have seen that up and down Big O streets to the point we had to stop. I had to stop the video one day. I had to stop it. She's talking to her son like that. We had to stop it. There was none of that. And I'm like, people pay people to talk like that to their kids. People pay for this. Whoa. You learn something new every day. But either way, you know me, I heard enough of this chick. So I'll be back on like about 5 or 6 because I gotta watch my show tonight. My Big Daddy Kane versus my KRS-One. So I wish we could watch it together. But it's this thing called copyright infringement. They pick and choose who they let stream the damn thing. But I thank all of you guys for being here for me with this morning. Just know I am Shadow Van. You might can find me, you might not can't find me. I don't know. But I'm thankful you guys spent this morning with me. I will be back in the afternoon. I have no idea what we're going to cover, no idea what we're going to do. But I'll see you guys later. You have a great night. Peace out, guys. See you later.